how did you know Laura was the right one for you?
That ass.
Recording. That's pretty good. The man needs no introduction, guys. Normally we do an intro. You already know the man, internationally renowned man.
Maybe that's the intro.
No, the man who needs no introduction. I'm going to lead into my story in Mexico.
That's it. All right.
Zach Keeps.
Everyone knows.
Everybody knows.
Morby
Rob, let me just say this even before, because he needs no introduction. I'm traveling a few months ago. I'm in Cancun. Someone says, where are you from? I said, I'm from Arizona. They said, oh, that's so great. It's beautiful. What do you do? I said, I'm in real estate. They said, oh, do you know Pace Morby? I mean, the guy barely speaks English. I said, who's Pace Morby? Just kidding. Everybody knows the legend himself right here. He needs no intro. It's like, hey, Pace, what are you known for? He's known for everything in real estate. He's the man. It's an honor and privilege to be with the legend himself. Look at him, Mr. Humble. He's always deflecting. Look at him deflect.
Zach Keeps was one of the guys that was super instrumental for me. I was a home investor when we met, and I was trying to get out of being a home investor and like do my own thing. And so it was guys like Zach Keeps, Jamil Damji, Brent Daniels, those kind of guys that were doing it on their own. Even though I was part of this like franchise model, I felt trepidation of like leaving that franchise model. And if it wasn't for Zach Keeps, Jamil Damji, I would have never been who I am today. Yeah. So you're the man.
Wow.
This guy, he's so humble.
Went on appointments with me, bought deals from me. We did a bunch of deals together. I always watch this guy. He's the biggest buyer in all of Arizona.
Yeah.
Name a bigger buyer than him.
Hedge funds.
Besides them.
You buy more than I do.
Even hedge fund, well, maybe outside the state.
Okay.
But I'm also buying like bigger stuff. Are you doing any multifamily yet?
No, I've done multifamily. I've done one large multifamily deal, but my core competency is single family.
Bro, you need to get on more podcasts with multifamily people. Like you watch Grant Cardone, good friend of mine. We just had him on our stage a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Oh, single family is a waste of time." I'm like, well, okay, well, says the guy who's done 25 single family deals before they ever did a multifamily deal. He used single family to get into multifamily. Sure. I'm like, how is single family a waste of time?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. It's my core competency. I love it. I mean, but you're in multifamily and single family. What do you prefer? Single family,
such a great conversation here. Single family, if I'm new, is the greatest thing to get into. There's more resources, title companies, real estate agents, financing. Like, think about the multifamily financing model. It's all of their financing is bullshit. Yeah. It's all ticking time bombs, right? Whereas he goes and gets a 30-year fixed, right? He introduced me to his, I don't know if it was a credit union. We were at Flower Child restaurant probably 5-6 years ago, and
regional bank. I remember we sat in the corner.
Yeah, so this is the guy who's doing your refinances and doing all this stuff.
And all my guys, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like, that's not possible in multifamily. He gets to play Monopoly with money. Yeah. Multifamily guys, they go to a bank, or like, let's say Marcus and Millichap, a big multifamily financier. They give you temporary debt. It's a ticking time bomb. They're like, well, you got a 3-year loan, you got a 7-year loan, and it's adjustable. Yeah. And by the way, when the rates go from 3.5% to 8% in a 24 time frame, and trillions of dollars of multifamily goes into default, single family people are over there going,
laughing.
Laughing.
Yeah. Really? You think multifamily is better than single family?
Right.
You got permanent debt that you get to play around with. And you get to leverage your assets in order to go buy other assets. Multifamily doesn't work that way. And most of the multifamily guys, in order to buy these big, massive assets, have to go and, aggregate 400 freaking people together to go co-own this massive deal together. You own all your stuff yourself.
Right. Or what they could do is they could just call Pace Morby and then get his community, and they raise the debt in 3 hours, which I want to talk about and see what's going on with that, which is incredible.
But single family, there's more people that are going to send you. There's more deal flow. There's just more deal flow. Of course. You're not competing against hedge funds that have endless amounts of money. Also, these big hedge funds, they can go buy a multifamily deal at a 3 cap and sit on it for 10 years. Yeah. You cannot. Whoever's watching this, you can't do that. You can't play that game. Yeah. So you got to go find distressed multifamily, C class, B class, that those guys don't want, right? And you've got to bring something different to the table. Single family, bro. Do you think there's a single family deal right here in this valley right now?
There's an abundance of them. We say an abundance of opportunities. And the barrier to entry on single family is 0. You can come in with your style and methodology, 0.
Same thing with you, right? Same thing with what you're doing and playing Monopoly. So the abundance of opportunities, the abundance of people that want to help you. I feel like there's less gatekeeping in single family as well. Like the multifamily people are all from Harvard. They went to Bible school. They're all like,
Oh, there he is. Speaking of the man, he's right here. Pace, he can hear you.
You go to a multifamily conference, you'll never see somebody dressed like me or like Zach.
No,
Right.
It's the suits.
They're all like, and their personality is this too. Stiff, collared, and they're hard to break through and hard to build relationships with. And even the multifamily people that I'm friends with are like, yeah, you're right. You go to a multifamily conference, there's way more gatekeeping, way less collaboration.
Yeah.
And so when you're single family and you're just starting out, you need people that want to help you out.
Yeah.
Like
community.
Zach Keeps would take me on his appointments, or I would I would go, hey, I got a lead. Well, you want to come? And he was my buyer, so he would come with me and go, well, we shouldn't offer this, we shouldn't offer that. And you will never get that from a multifamily world.
What's interesting, we had Eric Klein on a few episodes ago, and he said that when he got into this industry, he was shocked. He's like, I've never seen such a collaborative industry. He's like, he came out of the timeshare exit business. He's like, in the timeshare exit business, other people are in your industry, like they're your enemy.
Yeah, they issue you a knife on day one so you can slit your enemy's throats, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not like that in single family. It's such a collaborative
We talk
industry.
about the word abundance. I mean, the reality is everybody can win. There's an abundance of opportunities. Like when we go on those appointments, he would wholesale to me. He's got to make $10,000 or $20,000. I'm gonna retain the asset. I mean, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
so
there was a
community,
deal. I made 50 grand on a deal assigning it to Zach. My acquisition girl at the time was just new in her department of being in AC, and her commission on that deal was $5,000. She got $5,000 on him buying the deal.
Cambridge.
Yeah, he turned around and sold it to a developer. I don't know what you made on it, but that developer went and made so much effing money on that deal.
It looked like they did. They actually retained it for because I was part of on the back, and they used my designer Candace Quinn.
Yeah, she's
They
great.
did a full tear down, the whole thing, a whole remodel.
And everybody made
won.
money.
Yeah.
And you get to participate on the back end. You share each other's resources. Single family is the best.
Yeah.
It is truly the best.
Now, with all that said, you dabble in some multifamily, do you not?
I do, yeah.
What do you like about multifamily? At what point, like single families, I think you're 100% right. It's so sexy. I think there's two things. Number one, you get more reps.
Yeah.
Right? Way faster to do a single family deal than to do a multifamily deal.
Faster.
Sometimes I've seen so many guys, they're wholesaling, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to do my first multifamily deal. And they spend 6 months on it, and all their entire pipeline from the single family falls apart while they're working on this one multifamily deal that's going to make them $100,000 or $1 million or whatever it is. And then that deal falls out, and they're back to zero. So like single family is nice because you got lots of reps, they're consistent. But the other main thing that a lot of people don't think about this is you can't lock in 30-year debt.
No.
On multifamily.
The only time you can lock in 30-year debt is if you're doing seller finance on multifamily.
Yeah.
And so that, like our
Okay,
fund,
so that's interesting.
yeah, that's the only. So I have 50-year debt on 2 of my assets.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm
50-year
going.
debt.
So it's amortized over. So your payments are fucking nothing.
You're all right.
Amazing.
But I gave the seller the number they wanted.
Right.
You know this really well. And so, like I've got an asset in San Angelo, Texas, 43 units. One of the smaller multifamily deals that I own. I won't go that small anymore just because the management gets really tricky.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a smaller town. The management is also less intelligent and sophisticated in smaller cities. So seller Mario is like, I want $3 million, puts it on the market, couldn't get it on the market. I call the broker doesn't want to pitch seller finance, wait for the listing to go expired, call Mario directly. Mario says, yeah, I'll do seller finance, come meet me in person. I go meet Mario in person. The asset's probably worth 2.7.
Yeah.
And I pay him $3 million. But what do I do? I give him no money down.
Yeah.
Why? Well, his security is the asset. What does he need me to give him money for? If I give him money, he's paying taxes on it, right?
Yeah.
He bought it for $1 million. He's selling it to me for $3 million. He's going to have capital gains tax. Any dollar he receives, he's paying a tax on. So he goes, well, I go, let's do $0 down, 4% interest, but I need really low payments in order for me to cash flow. He's like, what do I care? My payments are going to go to my kids even if I die.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we did a 50-year term, and I bought 2 assets from him in a 2-year time frame. So no money down, 4% interest, 50-year terms.
Wow.
The payment is $11,000. The asset brings in $28,000 a month after all my stuff. We net like $11,000 a month. So what I like about multifamily is if you're using creative finance, I'm the only person right now in multifamily that actually can make this work because I'm not getting toxic debt. I'm getting good debt, and I'm paying a little bit more on the sticker price.
Yeah.
But if you added $100,000 on every one of Zach Keep's deals he bought 10 years ago, he'd still be rich as shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the long game of just waiting stuff out and having the appropriate terms and the right bank financing and all that kind of stuff. In my opinion, is way more important than overpayment of the property.
Yeah.
Who pays more for an asset? The guy at, right now, if I go buy a $3 million asset, no money down, 4% interest over 50 terms, or somebody buys it at $2.7 million, but with 7% interest, who's paying more money?
In the long term, I'm paying more money, right? If I'm buying that deal.
Right.
We're all both in the game of delayed gratification. I'm not really flipping much. You're patient. That's what's so important. Everyone thinks this is like a sugar business. You show up and take the sugar and you get that immediate gratification, that immediate money.
No,
it's not.
so
You're
good.
playing a good long game, and that's so smart with that long-term strategic debt. And you're sleeping at night because you're not worrying about those arms, the adjustable rates or anything else. You're like, I've got excessive cash flow, and anytime there's going to be issues with that property, you've got enough cash flow to offset those repairs.
Yeah, and there are things in that regard. And I would tell people, multifamily, you don't really make good money on multifamily for your first 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you're syndicating. If you're syndicating, most of these guys are buying things, they're overbuying them with toxic debt. They have a 5-year time horizon on their exit, and they're making their money on the promote on the front end. So they're raising the money, they make their money on raising the money. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Like syndicators are making usually 2 to 3 points on the money they raise. So let's say they raise $5 million. They're like, okay, I made 150 grand on the upfront. I don't need a paycheck immediately on the cash flow. So now it's a value add. They're going to go add value to the deal and then exit. And that's when their paycheck is, right?
Yeah.
That's when their second paycheck is. So people are like, I want to get into multifamily. Like, can you afford to not get a paycheck for 5 years? No. Like, then probably don't get into multifamily and syndicate.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not a if or. I think it's both, right? It's not like this or that. It's both.
Yeah.
You should be doing single family. What's great about single family too, is you can get paid up front, even if you're doing, let's say I'm buying a sub 2 seller finance, or hell, even I'm buying them primarily the way that Zach buys them. I know Zach's done sub 2 and seller finance deals too, but let's say I'm buying a single family asset. Can I not pay myself up front? I can. So let's say that somebody sends me a single family deal. I bring in private money for my down payment, my renovations, et cetera. I can over leverage with my private money lender $10,000, $20,000 to take myself a today paycheck home on a BRRRR deal.
Yeah.
I can pay myself today on a BRRRR deal. Like I can pay myself a finder's fee of $10,000, $20,000. Then when I do my refinance, that money gets paid back to my private money lender. Single family's gangster like that. You can do all sorts of cool things. I can make today money, tomorrow money, and forever money on single family. My favorite part of my single family now is what you primarily do, which is, I think you're still doing this. You've got equity in your single family deals that you use that as a way to get lines of credit to go buy more shit.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of this from Zach. Zach sends me down. I sit down with him at Flower Child, I don't know, probably 5-6 years ago. And he's talking to me about how he's structuring his single family stuff. I'm like, okay, so I don't have to extract my single family equity. I can keep it there and use it as collateral to get a line of credit. Okay, that's cool. So I get this deal 3 years ago in Illinois, Springfield, Illinois, your capital, bro. No, wait, you're not in Illinois, you're in Detroit.
Me and Jerry, Detroit.
So I get this deal, 256 units. The seller says, yeah, I'll seller finance it to you. It's a $20 million purchase. I go, okay, how much money do you want down? He wants $2 million down. I go, okay, well, I don't have $2 million in cash. So I'll just go raise private money is what I told him. He goes, bullshit. You're not putting a second lien position behind my first lien position seller finance. Idiot. I go, okay. What? How do I raise the money for this then if I can't put a lien position and second position to protect my private money lenders?
What was his qualms about that?
It was really, dude, it's so insightful. I got so much great information. He says, what if you default on your second lien position, but not me? What if your second lien position is hostile?
Right.
They go to either foreclose, which forces me into foreclosure, or two, what if you work a deed in lieu with them and they now take over ownership and now I'm seller financing to somebody I don't know? Correct. I was like, bro,
wow.
You don't learn this shit until you're doing the business.
Totally.
So this guy's, this guy probably knows that because this happened to him at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's some gangster shit right there.
I remember what Zach Keeps taught me. I'm just going to go and leverage my single family asset. So I went to a lady named Angela Wayne, one of my private money lenders, and I go, hey, Angela, I need some cash. Here's the deal, but he won't let me lien that asset. Will you lien my other single family assets? And so I spread her $2 million over 7 homes and just created 7 notes and deeds of trust in second position.
Bingo.
And boom, raised the money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I don't have to refinance out of these 3% rates.
And you had amazing rates on the other stuff. You've got equity. That's the beauty of delayed gratification.
Homeboy's playing Monopoly over here, dude.
Well, you're playing your own game. You've created your own game of Monopoly. What do you call it? Cash Flow Kings, or what is it?
Creative cash flow.
We need a game, and we could play it on the
We got Jenga. We're going to play a little bit later.
Hello? Oh, you can't find a buyer for your wholesale deal? Don't worry, baby. I'll find you a buyer. Come to Investorlift and find your next buyer for your deal. Make some money.
I want to talk about something that's so critical. Like, one of the things about this podcast is we got a lot of people that already know who you are, and Robert and everyone else. But it's so critical for them to, like, they already know how great you are. But how can you give them advice? And I think this is so critical, the OPM piece. How important, again, a lot of people come into this business, they don't have access to capital, but they have access to your community, they have access to deals, and I believe the money always follows the deal. How can people raise? What was your pitch early on for your capital without collateralizing assets, right?
Oh.
So let's talk about, and I had to do the same thing, right? We had no capital, we had deals, we're human capital, essentially. How can you be the horse and the liaison to connect the opportunity for somebody that's got disposable income? How did you approach
Bridge that
that
gap? Okay, so before anybody, because now, like, people go, I know who Zach Keeps is. He's one of the biggest buyers in the state. Everybody knows who Zach is. He doesn't have a hard time raising money because of his reputation. Right? So then people starting in the business go, well, man, it's unfair, man. You have a reputation. I'm like, yeah. Zach was born. When he came out of the womb,
I had nothing.
The doctor handed a reputation to him. Like, he had nothing. He had to build it. So how did I build it? Is I figured most of the people going to RIAs were having a hard time finding their own deals. And so I said, a guaranteed way for you to get into a deal and make money is just lend money on my deal, and I'll let you come to the project. I'll hold your hand. I'll show you how I found the deal, and I'll teach you how I'm finding deals. Dude, I raised so much freaking money that way. People are like, wait, hold on. I can get a monthly check from you on private money, and you'll show me?
I love that.
So I just added the cherry on top of finding what they really wanted. Like, why are you coming to a RIA? Well, they're coming to learn how to do a deal, but most people lack what?
Execution.
Traction. Boom. Execution. They have no traction, so they just keep absorbing information, and they get to this point, this boiling over point of like, I'm just going to get out of this business because this isn't a business for me. Not really looking internally and going, I'm just not doing I'm not taking any action.
Right.
So I'm the person that takes the action and eliminates that bullshit for them, and that makes them go, oh my gosh, finally. So how could I give people that finally feeling? Was just going to them and going, hey, I have a deal. Not only will I give you a monthly income, but I'll teach you how I'm doing it.
Love that.
And people just jumped all over every deal.
I love that.
And is this something you're still doing with your students? I mean, you got what, like 12,000 students now?
Yeah, we have 14,000 sub
14,000
sub 2 community members and 10,000 Gator community members.
Wow. And is this something you can still do at scale? I mean, you've raised a fund, right?
We've closed out our fund,
But now you're trying to, it's the same kind of idea, but you're trying to do it more at scale where it's like, hey,
I could tell you
with me on these deals, and I'm going to document what I'm doing.
So what I did is when Slack became a thing, I'm sure you guys use Slack in your company.
Every day.
I can't imagine he uses Slack.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, perfect. You're great with your email. You're great with like communicating that way.
I just use this.
Yeah, well, Slack is like a way of going, when people are like, I hate text messages and emails. How do I communicate with my team without that? Slack is a way to do that.
Got it.
So we will put our investors, our private money lenders in our Slack channel with my team, so they can just go right into Slack and go, oh, I see how they're paying utility. Funniest thing is like people go, oh, that's how you pay a utility bill. Like they're watching my team post utility bills in the Slack channel, and you're like, how is that interesting to you? But for some reason, it is hella interesting. So check this out. If you go into America Home Offers, you'll see all these houses that we have in here, right? I know the audience can't really see this, but here you go.
Zoom in on it. There you go.
So I click on any one of these, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and you'll see my team is posting like utility bills, and here's the mortgage payments that are being paid. Our investors freaking love just sitting in the Slack channel and seeing all the activity going on the house. And they're like, I'm a part of this. And they are. They get asked questions and whatnot. So that's how we facilitate it, where it doesn't take up my time. They get to just watch my team operate. And which is great. So I'm not overwhelmed in that regard. But when I started my multifamily fund, I was like, shit, I don't know how to raise money for multifamily. That's not something I've done before. Well, what worked for single family, which was like, let me teach you how I'm doing the asset and acquiring it and managing it and all that kind of stuff. I said, I'll just do the same thing for multifamily. So what I did is I did a Reg D and a Reg CF.
Yeah.
Okay, Reg CF is regulation crowdfund. It allows you to take non-accredited investors.
They could put up $5 or $500
The
or
small
$5
guy
million.
fund, I think you call it, right?
It's called the small guy fund. Thank you for remembering that. I said I didn't want to leave the small guy behind. So I was like, I went to my community. I said, look, I know a lot of you are not accredited, but I want to give you the greatest gift I could ever give you. I want to let you invest at $1,000 into this multifamily deal. We've got 161 unit in Tucson and a 21 unit in Tucson, a 32 unit in Tucson, all bought on seller finance, 30-year really great debt. And I go, you can participate at $1,000. Is that $1,000 investment going to change your life? No. In fact, you could probably put that $1,000 somewhere else and get a greater return on the investment itself. I'm going to pay you 17% a year, basically, is what the IRR will be.
That's incredible.
Right?
By the way.
That's really good. It's really
That's
good.
incredible. I don't know of an alternative investment that's going to give you that.
It's
but
a good. It's a
incredible.
good. But like maybe taking a course or something where it teaches them how to find a deal and they get 20 grand. You know, who knows? So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 5-person multifamily team, and we're going to do a semester 3 times a year of a 12-week class. And every 12-week class will be like, last semester was how to underwrite a multifamily deal for 12 weeks. Now it's turned into a course that we give it to them for free. Then this semester is how to build your own fund. Next semester will be how to find a sixplex, you know, that kind of stuff. So my 5-person team is giving a free education to all my multifamily investors. And they're like, dude, I'm getting $100,000 multifamily education for $1,000.
That's incredible.
But that's not the best part. I think the best part, honestly, for a multifamily like LP, somebody who's the limited partner, is the credibility you get when you call a broker and you say, hey, I want to, submit an LOI on this 50 unit, blah, blah, blah. And the broker says, yeah, but like, do you own any stuff now?
Yeah, I own the 100 and some units in Tucson. I'm a fractional owner. I'm an
There you
LP
go.
in this deal. They're like instant credibility.
Right. So we send them, we get our graphic design team to put this beautiful credibility package together. We let them meet me at the property. So I'll go there 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And anytime they want, I'm down there. They fly in from all over the country. Think about this. They put $1,000 to be in the fund.
Genius.
But then they'll spend $1,500 for flight and hotel to go meet me at the property.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll take photos of me, put it on their website. So now they'll go to their brokers and go, yeah, I own 180 blah, blah, blah units. Right. Here's my proof.
Right.
And they go, okay, great. We'll accept your LOI. Versus like, how do I get credibility in the marketplace?
I do the same thing in the single family. So if a wholesaler sells me a deal, I say, hey, any point in the future, just say you're partners with me. It only works here. No one knows me out of state.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, I'm partners with Zach Ventures. If you want to check out my stuff, just pull the tax records. You'll see. They're like, oh, we'll sell you the deal.
Such a big deal.
That is genius, especially for a fractional ownership of only 1,000.
Well, this was, again, I learned a lot of stuff from guys like Zach. Zach was...
Stop saying that.
I did. And, when I was starting out, I had been a HomeVestor for a number of years, but who knows any HomeVestor guys? You do.
Lane Peterson, Steve Peterson.
Those guys sold, though. They're out.
I know they're all out.
So, like, who are the 20 that are in town now?
I have no clue. I haven't done any deals with them.
They don't network. They don't hang out with each other.
What do you think happened there with HomeVestors?
They're a bunch of crabs in a bucket, bro.
They were the hottest. Well, I remember when I got in the game back 2015, 2016, that it was like the thing.
Yeah.
It was the thing before
and
everything else.
You think they just didn't innovate? Like, what do you think happened?
I don't even see their
with
billboards
HomeVestors?
anymore. It used to be 1-800
everywhere.
buy UGG or something. And those guys you guys killed it back in the day.
Yeah, we were doing good. Like, I would say my best year, my take home on like...
Tory was a great guy. I love that guy.
Just saw him the other day. I was running. He was riding a bike.
Love him.
Most of those guys, like in my day and age, they've sold their franchises and just gone out on their own, followed the Zach Keeps model or the Jamil Damji model. And they're like, it's this company, leadership comes from the top, right? Yeah. David Hicks is a piece of shit. Straight up. I'm putting this on the internet.
I don't even know who that is.
It's the CEO of HomeVestors.
No, there's a new CEO, though. Is that the new CEO or the
So
old?
David Hicks just stepped down because they're under like this massive investigation, just consumer manipulation and all sorts of stuff.
There was a bunch of marketing funds that went.
And that's not why I think David Hicks is a piece of shit. I think David Hicks is a piece of shit because he created a culture of crabs in a bucket. And what's crabs in a bucket? The analogy is you can't get out. And if you try and get out,
they're going to pull you back in.
We're going to pull you back in.
Yeah.
And so when I went on Steve Trang's podcast 6 years ago, my first time, I got a cease and desist from HomeVestors.
Wow.
Take that down. Steve Trang, we're going to sue you. Pace is not allowed to talk about his business. I'm like, so that's a culture of HomeVestors. The culture of HomeVestors is we're not allowed to talk to anybody outside of HomeVestors. And so in that definition, it is a cult. What is a cult? A cult is a group of people that do not network with anybody but themselves. They don't get outside information, and they live in this isolated bubble.
Echo
and
chamber.
so
That contradicts this whole business.
right, contradicts everything about this business. Think about how much money they spend here just in this state. The ad council is what it's called. The 20 guys that own their territories, the 20 territories, just Maricopa County, they spend $600,000 a month on marketing, and you don't see them.
I don't even hear from them.
Exactly.
I wonder who they sell to.
They just internally.
Do you have any of the guys on
They're trying to buy
Investorlift?
Investorlift right now for
that's
for all
interesting.
HomeVestors. Well, we're talking to them.
They need it, bro. When I was on their marketing team, and I'm like, there needs to be a nationwide way for everybody to sell their deals.
Yeah.
Right now, they have 1,400 franchisees or something like that.
Yeah.
They're all running their own separate dispo models. There's there's
crazy.
not a
They
single
need-
platform.
That's why I
need
told
you,
them. I
bro.
said, look, you guys were the hottest shit
Bro.
when I came in, and you guys haven't been innovating.
You would change their whole business.
I told them, I'm like, look, if you empower your franchisees with Investorlift, it changes everything. It changes everything for
They
you.
won't. The culture of David Hicks was that you don't want to empower your people at all. You want to hold them like under your thumb.
Right.
It's our way or the highway.
Extractive versus inclusive.
Right. Yeah.
Extractive is not a long-term
Well, the
play.
challenge is the franchisees, they'll stick in it. They'll make 200 grand their first year, 400 grand their second
Not
year.
bad.
So they make good money.
Yeah.
But then like year 3, they plateau and they go, "Oh, I need to do something more."
Yeah.
And then so secretly they're Googling in private, like incognito mode. They think David Hicks is going to find out their Google history.
Yeah.
And they're over here Googling like, how do I get out of HomeVestors? How do I build a wholesale business? How do I do this? Because they realize that I can only go so far with David Hicks or HomeVestors. Because HomeVestors would never, under David Hicks' guys, like his leadership, they would have never brought Investorlift in.
Yeah.
I think you have a massive opportunity there.
Yeah. Jerry just bought 12 licenses for his students. You got 12 for sub 2. I think it's
amazing.
brilliant.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
now they have a
enabling,
competitive
enabling
advantage.
your people, which is incredible.
Yeah, move
This
deals
leads
faster.
me in. This is crazy. I'm walking my dog this morning. I'm thinking, man, I haven't seen Pace for a little while. I see all the time. Every time I open my phone, Instagram, Facebook, you pop up, talk about top of mind mentality. I want to go back a little bit to when I first met you.
Yeah.
And, you were very vulnerable with me. You tell me what's going on with your HomeVestors and your contracting business. Not a lot of people know that backstory. They probably do if they've watched your podcast.
Yeah.
I want to ask you the question that was resonating with me on a high level, which is, how did you go from victim to victor, right? So you were in a pretty deep place with a contractor owing you a lot of money.
John May.
John May.
Yeah.
He owed you, from what I recall, over 7 figures.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would be defeated. Maybe get a 9-to-5 job. How do you go from that mentality, which a lot of people have hardships in their lives and feel like they're the victim, and maybe you never felt like you were the victim? Or I want to see how you overcame that and what transition to get you where you're at the top of the mountain today, and pretty quickly, right? This was only 5 or 6 years ago, which is so much,
Can we get some backstory? How did a contractor end up owing you
let's
7
talk about
figures?
that. So again,
Well,
victim
it wasn't-
to victor. This is
wasn't-
crazy.
That was so I'll tell you the backstory. Great question. So to give you the answer, you probably need to know the back history. So as a contractor, dude, mindset is like literally 100% of everything, obviously. And where do you get your good mindset is like always the people you hang out with.
Yep.
I've never come up with anything on my own. It's always like been good buddies like Zach or Jamil or other people that even if they're not telling me something, they're showing me by their activities and who they are, right? We rub off on each other. We're all like learn through osmosis, which is awesome. And that really is the secret to a lot of stuff. But 11 years ago, I started doing wholesale and real estate deals, but I sold my first deal to a lady named Bethany Willis. And she was also, the way that I got into the business, she was my client. So I was a contractor flipping houses for flippers.
Yeah.
So Bethany was a flipper. I had flipped 3 houses for her. She says, you need to get into real estate. I go, no, I am in real estate. She goes, no, you're freaking not in real estate. I'm in real estate. You're my slave. You are, in fact, you don't even own your business. I own your business. And she says to me, you're a simple Google search away from being replaced. I was like, damn. Okay.
Real honesty.
So she teaches me how to find a deal. I find a deal. I make 25 grand selling the deal to her.
Yeah.
You would think that the greatest thing in my life had just happened.
Yeah.
And it did, but I couldn't see it. The only thing I was excited about wasn't the $25,000 assignment. I just learned what the word assignment was at the time.
Yeah.
You'd think the $25,000 assignment I made with 3 hours worth of work was the exciting thing of like, I have a new way of making money. I have a whole new revenue stream I didn't even know existed. No, what I was excited about was she just bought a deal from me, which meant what as a blue collar guy?
More work for you.
Yes, that was my mindset.
You're like,
bro.
you secured your next 9-to-5 job.
I wasn't even, I made way more money on the $25,000 assignment than I ever would from the flip, but I was like, ooh, I can keep my guys busy.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my mindset. And so that's the mindset I had to chisel and dismantle, and the blueprint that my father had given me from trading time for work. That mindset and that blueprint had to be dismantled and demoed for me to build a new empire, right?
Wow.
So during this, I'm wholesaling, I'm acquiring, I'm doing sub 2 and seller finance deals, but like not at a big scale because I was so busy with my construction company. And I pick up this client named John. And John, what John did is, you know, I think at his core, John probably doesn't realize he's hurt so many people. And so I'll give him that grace, but he's hurt a lot of people. He's filed bankruptcy 3 times in his life.
Damn.
I didn't realize that until he filed bankruptcy on me. But he would go around town and just tell everybody, I'll buy your deal, I'll buy your deal, I'll buy your deal, even bad deals. I'm sure you saw some of the deals he bought at prices. You're like, what are you doing?
Doesn't even make sense. Someone's like, hey, I made an offer on something at a reasonable price. Oh, I already have a 40,000 over. That doesn't even make sense.
How is that even possible?
Right.
80% of his deals he would buy and he'd just dispo, and he would make 5 grand, 7 grand, whatever. And he had a good business. People knew about him as a guy that they could send deals to. But what his business model was is, I'm going to say yes to every deal no matter what, so that all the wholesalers in town just bring me all their deals. Even if I have to lose 5 grand on this deal, I'll make it up on the next deal. And that was his business model. Investorlift wasn't around, by the way.
Yeah.
So he was like the original Investorlift.
Yeah.
But
Bring your deals to John.
no technology. It was all through his freaking Android phone.
Yeah.
So the 20% of houses he couldn't sell, he would come to me and say, will you flip these houses for me? And so what I was doing is fronting the construction. I was like, oh, I'll front your construction costs. I'll be your line of credit. Just don't argue with me on price point. Don't, like, if I'm going to charge you $1 a square foot for paint, don't be pissed off because you can go get a Hispanic dude to do it for 92 cents a square foot. I'm going to charge you $1. Don't bark with me, or don't bark at me for the prices. Like, let's work something out. I'll be your bank. So I was his bank, and basically he accumulated like $1.3 million in debt he owed me from all this money. I was making money in wholesale, and I was just pumping it into his business.
Oh my God.
For 4 years. And Jamil tells me, I told this to Zach when I was going through it, like, I'm in this bad situation. What do I do? Zach's like, you need to get the F out of that relationship. Jamil told me, you need to get the F out of that relationship. So in summer of 2018, so 6 years ago, like coming on 6 years ago, John comes to me, he goes, okay, I know I owe you a lot of money and I put you in a really bad situation, and I know you've been taking all your wholesale money and pumping it into me. Like, he at least recognized he put me in a really bad situation. And I have like another dozen houses that I know if these are done right, I can score big and I can pay you off. And I go, I don't have any more money, bro. I can't front you any more money. He goes, well, don't you have 43 rentals?
Oof.
So I went and sold all 43 rentals of mine, and I liquidated, paid the gains on the capital gains. I paid everything, and I took that cash and I deployed it into his business. I didn't tell anybody, because if I told you, you would have punched me in the face.
I would have. Yeah.
And if I told Jamil, he would have kicked me in my nuts. And I didn't put a lien on any house.
You doubled down.
I doubled down because
Holy
like in that situation, we've all been there.
Right.
You're just like, how do I dig myself out?
Right.
Well, I got to dig deeper, and I'll dig myself out the other
He
side.
fucked you, didn't she?
And next thing you know, Corbin's born September 20th, 2018, so 5.5 years ago. The day she was born, I get a bankruptcy letter. He's filing bankruptcy on me.
Holy.
43
rentals.
Oh, yeah, plus the $1.3 million he had already owed prior. I had to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And so it was the greatest blessing in my life.
That's what I want to get into. So it's interesting because I can empathize with that, because when I first started out, I was joint venturing with my cousins. They were the capital. I was the human capital out here. I reinvested all my 7 figures with them, and they got over leveraged. These guys had $50 million net worths. It got so bad that they overextended themselves. I literally sent them all the money that I made, literally reinvested all the money to them. They defaulted. The one cousin committed suicide. It was a horrible situation. And I said to myself, so I'm curious, your mentality,
cousin
my cousin
committed suicide.
Correct.
Holy shit.
He owed me all this money. It was terrible. So, I can understand you can sit there and think about the past, right? Which you can't change, but you can also leverage that information on how to do business much better in the future. And, I didn't even have any paperwork. These are cousins, these people that we send millions of dollars a day to do deals. I'm reinvesting the money. They're done. They filed bankruptcy. One's dead. The other one's looking at prison time. And I'm like, oh my God, how do you get out of that hardship? How do you get out of, you just went through 43 homes, all your money. You've got a new baby on the line. How do you go from victim to victor based on that situation? What shifted now? Your mentality, your work, what did you do to get out of that?
Yeah, it's interesting. So mine wasn't as bad as his. Like having somebody kill themselves over the whole situation. I remember, 2008, bro, people jumping off buildings here in Phoenix, Arizona that were like raised, I never got that bad.
Yeah.
It was my own little individual world, but I'll tell you the answer and you'll be like, oh, that's really basic answer, but you'll be like, it makes sense. This is how bad it was for me. Actually, right up the road. So September 20th, baby's born, my first biological child. The letter of bankruptcy is sitting on my shotgun seat as I'm driving to the hospital to meet my wife to have her baby. So I had to compartmentalize and turn that part of my brain off for a day, knowing I'm losing everything, but I'm also gaining my first child. Okay. I'm just going to focus on this right now. I think I was just an adult at that point. Like if it was in my 20s, bro, I would have freaking jumped off a building. It would have been so stressful. So luckily I'd been kicked in the face enough times, like we all have at our ages now, where it's like, you can't do shit to me. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't that mature then, but I was mature enough to know I can compartmentalize. I'll deal with this tomorrow. So my wife then, she doesn't know this happened. We had the baby. I don't want to stress her out. Right. It's her calling in life. For her, she's like, I want to be a mom more than anything else. So Corbin is born. A month later, here we are basically going into November. My wife's like, hey, what do you want to do for Christmas? We always leave Arizona for Christmas. I go, oh. And I remembered this golf tournament that I had just won a year ago. And I won the tournament and I won this all expense paid trip to Sonoma, California, flight, limo, food, all the things. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, we're going to Sonoma County for Christmas this year. She's like, wow, that's amazing. I didn't tell her it was a thing I won at a golf tournament. Right. Yeah. And I didn't have any money, credit card. I'd ran out of everything. Here's what we did. Here's how I made it through financially. I was in the process of building my dream home. $50,000 a month cash, just throwing into building this home. When John filed bankruptcy, I called Jamil and I said, hey, my house that I'm 80% of the way done with? He goes, yeah. And I go, dispo it, get rid of it. I'll take 40 cents on the dollar. I just need money to pay payroll, shut my construction company down and double down on wholesaling. And that's what I was doing during those couple of months transition when between bankruptcy letter and my wife asking me about Christmas. Hey, what are we gonna do for Christmas? And so I had no credit cards, I had no cash. I had just paid all my payroll, made sure my guys were taken care of, and I was winding down all my construction jobs so I could finally get out of the business. And one of the reasons why it ended up becoming the best thing ever is because I had to do two things. One, I had to shut down my construction business. Yeah. That was a wonderful thing. The universe came down and was like, bro, you know how to make money in real estate. What the F are you doing running a construction company? Two, it forced me to be the creative finance guy. In order for me to rebuild myself, I had nothing. Yeah. I had nothing. And so the way I branded myself was by force. Yeah. The sub 2 guy and the seller finance guy, I didn't just wake up one morning and go, I'm going to brand myself as sub 2. It was like, no, John May put me up against the wall and forced me to rebuild myself with no cash, no credit, no credentials, nothing, right? But anyway, the Christmas thing. So I tell my wife that. I go into the drawer to pull out the voucher that I won at the golf tournament, and the freaking date is expired. I'm like, oh shit, that sucks. So I call the lady. The office is right up here. It's the Thunderbirds office. And she goes, dude, are you kidding me? They give those vouchers knowing people aren't going to redeem those. That's how they make their money. What are you talking about? So I'm like, this lady needs to understand. I'm crying, I'm going through I'm being a little bitch. So I get in my car, drive up here. I tell her the story. I bring the bankruptcy letter. And I go, this is what just happened to me. Please tell me there's nothing you could do. She looks left. She looks right. She prints a new voucher for me. She gives me like $300 a day in hotel credit so I don't have to buy food.
Nice.
And I'm just like, wow, this is freaking amazing. Like there are good people out there.
Amazing.
And it was like, you know, a dozen people like that. You, Jamil, Brent, like friends of mine that got me through. And I'll tell you the actual thing, but just to understand what this all was. We fly to Sonoma. My wife's like, hey, let's go into town. Let's check out the town. I was like, no, let's just stay inside the hotel and use our credits. I had no money, bro. I had nothing.
I love that.
I didn't even have credit cards. Like I literally was tapped out on everything. I had to rebuild. That was literally 64 months ago. I had to rebuild from scratch. The reason why I was able to be the victor, not the victim, is because I would wake up every morning and I would say, at least I'm not a contractor anymore. There's nothing worse to me than only having one way of making money.
Yeah.
And when I learned how to make money the way Zach Keeps and Jamil and all these other guys made money, I was like, the world is my oyster.
Yeah.
I have nothing to complain about. I'm not a contractor anymore. I could go create income tomorrow. I could get a deal tomorrow. And because I had the empowerment of options,
Yeah.
there's no way I could be a victim.
Yeah.
It was the empowerment of options. So why am I so obsessed with like building my community? Is I'm trying to give these other people, same thing with Zach. Zach does a wonderful job of this, is showing people the ropes. When you learn something, it's like you find out your favorite band or your favorite restaurant, you're just like, you need to hear this. You need to taste this. You need to see this. When you get the taste of this business,
it's contagious.
You have to give it to everybody, bro. Same thing with Investorlift. Like when you see a company like HomeVestors and all their franchisees struggling, yet your technology could literally change a multi-billion-dollar company's direction, how can you be anything but obsessed?
Yeah.
And so I got obsessed. And I got addicted to helping other people the way other people had helped me and continued to help me. And I turned my what about me mindset off and was like, I'm just gonna help everybody else.
Yeah.
And even Jamil at the time, I still hadn't sold my franchise yet. Jamil was like, hey, I want to do deals with you. I was like, bro, I'll tap you into HomeVestors' whole entire group. So Jamil starts doing deals with all these people in HomeVestors like ad council, and he comes to me and goes, why would you give me all these people? You could be getting their deals and selling them to me. And I go, because I'm in the mode of like, I'm going to help everybody else but myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to take care of my basic needs. And I think that compound effect of just trying to get everybody else what they wanted has finally caught up with me in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So don't you believe that's amazing? Like most people have the mentality, like he says, pace. I mean, take a middleman fee, take a wholesale fee. It's karma, right? If you treat other people well, you give them the secret sauce. There's no real secret sauce, right? You give them the information, you help them out. Don't you believe in a higher being that's going to assist you, and that's part of your success?
Here's the problem with like a lot of the people. You have evidence that this works. I have evidence this works. You have more evidence than both of us combined because you see all your clients killing it on your platform, right? So you have evidence. If you gave somebody who'd never seen an orange in their life, if you gave them an orange seed and you go into that piece of dirt, dig a hole, and you have to water it for like 6 months, and if everything's right, it'll germinate and it'll pop up a seedling. Then if you continue to water it, for 3 more years, it will become a tree. Then that tree will not produce results for another 3 years, but on year 6, you might get a couple of oranges. Bro, I have evidence because I've had an orange.
Yeah.
And I also live behind an orange orchard. I see the evidence of this every single year, the new harvest. Somebody that's never seen the evidence of patience and putting in the effort and putting good karma in every single day that doesn't see what the results are, when they hear Zach say, oh, it's karma, they're like, oh, that sounds like a bullshit answer. No, it is the fucking answer.
Right? Yeah.
To everything. It is the answer to everything. What he's saying is, you'll never hear one person say a bad word about Zach Keeps.
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
The only people that will ever say anything bad about Zach Keeps or me or you are people that are jealous of our success.
Yeah.
Which only puts a light on them in a negative way.
Yeah.
So when you go, well, how have you reached the level you're at right now? It's like, I've just treated people right.
Yeah.
I've, operated by the golden rule.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about your compound effect of that in 10 years from now.
Yeah.
You'll be unrecognizable. You'll be unrecognizable. I'll be unrecognizable. And so you just get addicted. I call it the helper's heroin.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I'm like, how can I help the next person? This dude brought me up in his house, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, whatever that was. And he's like, got me on his computer and have you seen his bird's eye office? Like at the top of there's no taller building in all of Phoenix, Arizona than Zach Keep's office.
That's not true.
It's pretty close to true, bro. And I'm sitting up in there and he's on his computer and he's showing me, how do I pay my rent rolls?
Yeah.
How do I do this? I'm like, who does this? Me. How do you do it? This way. Boom, 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 boom. And I see that. And still to this day, my team still implements some of the stuff he gave me.
When I came to Scottsdale, I was supposed to be here for a week. I was telling you, he's like, hey, why don't you just kick out of my place for a month? Like, try out Scottsdale. That's why I'm here. Because
So
I was at his place at
You
a
flew
dinner
in
party.
for the JP Morgan dinner party.
JP Morgan
but part
party,
of that, we met because we were filming, and I said, dude, anytime my door's open, I sincerely met.
I
He
was
goes,
about to fly
and
out
the
the
next
next
day. He's like
day.
staying at the Ritz-Carlton. He goes, are you serious about me staying with you? I go, absolutely. The next morning, I'm walking my dog. He goes, yo, where are you? I'm at your front door. I go, great, it should be open. Go ahead, I'm walking the dogs. And you stayed.
on top of this,
great.
when Zach was going through his shit with his cousin and all that kind of stuff, I can guarantee you, I wasn't there, but I can guarantee you that he was still finding ways to help people, even in the midst of his bullshit.
Yeah.
And so it's the people that are like, look, you could make all the money in the world. It's not going to change shit.
No.
I know you've made big hits on like other companies outside of real estate as well, like other things you've invested in. I know you've had great success with other stuff. Bro, you're the same guy. Like your heart is the same as what it was when I first met you.
But this is what a beautiful, first of all, thank you, and same to you. It's like what people don't realize, they see Pace everywhere speaking of these big names, David Goggins. I'm like, holy shit. I just saw Pace at the Waste Management tournament. I'm hitting on his wife at the time. I didn't know who she was, this beautiful lady. And here he is sitting here as humble as can be, deflecting. I love that about you. And I think that it's a combination, what I call E squared, energy and execution. Right? Coming back to like that basic stuff. But how do you come out? Like no one saw the time where I saw you reading Chipotle. Hey, bro, let's go eat dinner. Like, let's go to City Hall. Let's just keep it a little more low key. I'm going through some stuff. That's amazing shit. I respect that 100%. You're not the guy out there, by the way, today when you can buy whatever you want, private jets, Lamborghinis. You're driving, what did you drive here? A Prius today? What
I
are you
drove my
driving?
truck, my F-150.
There you go. I love that. So many people think, like at this level, you know, the guy flew a helicopter to get here. You drove yourself. There's no security. I'm waiting for a security guard.
Black Hawk last week.
Well, that wasn't
That's
mine.
for his. But he's doing that for his
the
community.
Yeah.
So I respect the humility and the deflection. I mean, look at this guy. He doesn't come in here immediately talk about how great he is. He already starts with you or me and hey, thanks. Like that is a humble, high class individual.
Well, it is the answer too. So like, there was this girl that came to me. So this day with Pace thing, I'll tell you what I'm doing. So. It's completely free. I'm actually going to lose probably $500,000 this year on it. Not losing. That's
Investing.
I'm investing. And it's people who have already joined my community 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I'm just rewarding them with like, all right, 10 of you from all over the country. We're going to randomize this. I'm going to have you fly out, spend the day with me, and I'm going to give you an experience that will give you a lesson. And then we'll spend the day talking about the lesson. We'll talk about your individual business. We'll just hang out.
Love that.
So 2 weeks ago, Dave Sparks, who's like the Diesel Bros. I don't know if you know who the Diesel Brothers are. They're big on like Discovery Channel and stuff like that. They own this. They're the only civilians that own a military helicopter. So I go, hey, can I give my students a ride on the helicopter? It was the first day with Pace that I'm doing. I decided to dedicate the next 52 weeks, Thursday of my life to just giving people an experience that I never had. Okay. So Black Hawk was week 1. Last week was Thursday. I take them out to Falcon Field and I teach them how to fly a plane, land a plane 4 times.
It's amazing.
Wow.
And they, in 45 minutes, they walk off that plane going, I'm a different person. I know if a zombie apocalypse broke out, I know I can go down to an airport and pick up a plane and freaking take off, right? Type of thing. Okay, so this week we're doing other things, whatever. But I am investing into these relationships because I realize that everything comes down to relationships in your life. Everything.
I agree 1,000%.
Freaking everything comes down to relationships. So I see other people, that don't have what you have and I have and you have, is they think that it's all technical. Tell me the book I got to read. Tell me the thing I got to do.
It's not.
It's getting around the people that are doing the thing you want to do will answer and solve 99.9% of all your problems.
Yeah.
And people walk away with a day with Zach, a day with me, a day with you, and they're a changed person. So anyway, this girl comes out last week, and she asked me the question. She says, I don't know what my next step is. I go, okay, let's talk about what is your Mount Everest. What's your Mount Everest? What's the thing you want to accomplish in your life? She says, I want to help more people. Too vague, too ambiguous. I don't know what the hell that means. I go, you want to do that in real estate? She goes, yeah. I go, okay, great. What's the number one problem in real estate? Affordability. Affordability is the number one problem in real estate, whether that's because of lack of supply, so much demand, interest rates, whatever it is, or the dwindling paycheck of Americans and inflation, whatever it is, all of that cocktail combined makes affordability our biggest problem. Okay, so you want to solve affordability? She goes, yes, great. Why? Because that's the largest group of people you can help. You said you want to help people, let's go after the largest group. Cool. How can we solve affordability? Well, are you doing any co-living stuff?
No.
You're not doing okay.
I'm all long. It's interesting. I respect it, but
you got your lane.
I stay in my lane.
Okay,
I
but
just do long-term
you're seeing that a lot of people
it.
are doing this right now.
A lot of co-living, yeah.
Okay, so they're taking single-family homes like what Zach is doing, and they're going, all right, I'm going to take the living room, the garage, the dining room,
bedrooms.
turning into bedrooms, and they're basically turning into like kind of a micro multifamily.
Yeah.
So I go, how much money do you want to make per month? She goes, I don't know. I go, let's figure.
Right.
People don't know what they want, bro.
Right.
It's amazing. People don't know what they want. So I go, all right, you want 30 grand a month? Let's double that, because as you're on your way up this mountain, this Mount Everest, everything's gonna change. You're gonna change. Let's double. Let's go to 60 grand. How many houses do you need to get to 60 grand? We figure that number out. 31 houses. Okay, perfect. 31 houses making this much money as the average co-living house makes. We'll generate $60,000 a month in net cash flow for yourself. But the best part is, multiply 31 houses times 8 people per house that you're helping is 250 people that now can afford a place to live because of you. And I go, so now, what is your Mount Everest? She goes, I want to buy 31 houses, turn them into co-living spaces, and help 250 people afford their blah, 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 while making $60,000 a month in cash flow. I go, beautiful. That's your Mount Everest.
You go, here's your ticket, have a good day. I just gave you clarity.
I just give you clarity.
Right.
Then I go, okay, that's Mount Everest, but what's before Mount Everest? Base camp. So you got to get to base camp before you can ascend to Everest. What's base camp? She goes, I don't know.
Buy one house first, improve the model.
What I actually told, this is what I told her. Get around the people who are doing co-living. Go and say, I will drive you around.
Right.
I'll go on your appointments. I'll do your laundry. I'll take your dog on a walk every morning, whatever it may be. Or better yet, here's what you should do. Here's a better thing you should do. Start a podcast all about affordability in America. And interview everybody that you know that's doing co-living. Give them a space to talk about their favorite house, their favorite deal, their biggest mistake, et cetera. And as they're talking about their favorite deal, write down those deals. Then go on Investorlift. Okay, then go on Investorlift and reverse engineer their best deal. Find their best deal and then start sending deals to them and go, hey, I found something that you might like. Now you've found the people that are doing the thing you want. You've given them an interview and a time to talk about what they want to talk about. And then you've gone and found the thing that they want and you've built that relationship with them. Now you're at base camp. Do that over and over and over and over. Next thing you know, you're going to be at Mount Everest. So it's people, dude. It's freaking people. The answer always, always, always is people and how you treat them. And, you know, look at the people that are the big juggernauts in the space.
There's one here in town, right? It's like Padsplit or something.
Padsplit is, so Atticus is the owner of Padsplit. He's a good friend. He helped a big company exit to an IPO that also did co-living, but they did it like Blackstone style. Nobody knew what they were doing. They're just moving like in the secret shadows. So Atticus starts Padsplit out of Atlanta. And they now they're in like 50 markets. And they manage all of my co-living because I don't want to manage my co-living. It's a lot of work. I mean, one tenant per house is a lot of work. Now you got 8 tenants.
And a lot of transient short-term leases probably, I can only imagine. But the cash flow, there's no question. I don't negate the fact that these are highly profitable. There's just so many moving parts. I'm not equipped to have 8 people in a house and separate leases. And
nor do you need to deviate. Like if you keep winning the championship, if you're the Chicago Bulls, and you got the 5-man team that's winning the championship multiple years in a row, why do you need to start switching out your players?
You don't.
You don't. You're winning the championship. I don't know many people that are as successful as Zach Keeps is in real estate. Why would he deviate? Just because there's a new thing on the block, you know?
But it's also conversely, it is important for me to understand those alternatives just in preparation, because once you get too comfortable, then you can start potentially losing.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've like delved into it and you jump into it. I think if I'm brand new, not understand, like most people want to get into real estate because what do they want to do? Their number one objective is I want to quit my job. Okay, great. Well, if you want to quit your job, let's reverse engineer. What's your job pay you? 15 grand a month. Okay, great. That means you got to go get 10 co-living houses to net $1,500 a month. That's what my average one does. It nets $1,500. All expenses, CapEx, everything.
That's incredible, by the way.
It's really
That's
high.
really good.
But you have an average of 7 residents per room. They're paying $875 on average per room. So a single family home's bringing in $5,600 freaking dollars a month, which is crazy.
It's crazy.
great.
My average single family home brings about $2,200.
Right. So
Doubling.
now Padsplit charges 15% gross management. So that's a pretty hefty management fee, but they're finding the residents, filling them, evicting them, dealing with all the
So
crap.
they just handle it.
a
You just got to take the house,
turnkey.
do the reno.
You do have to do the landscape and the cleaning.
Okay.
And so after that, you make about $1,500 a month net. So I tell people, if you want to get started primarily to quit your job, I would jump into Padsplit.
Yeah.
Right? If you love your job or you love the active income you're making, whether it's wholesaling or whatever else, don't jump into Padsplit just because it's of the cash flow.
Yeah.
But I do see a lot of people chasing the quit your job money,
Yeah.
thinking they're going to stop working. What's funny, Zach, it's interesting, we've known each other for a good amount of time. You've never stopped working.
Never.
Right.
Probably work harder now.
That's what I'm saying.
And this, actually, it's a great point. I was wondering too this morning, how do you, it's crazy. I could be insomnia. I'm tossing, turning 3 a.m. There's pace. You're all over the place, and kudos to
I
you.
see you at least once a day.
It's wild.
On,
How do you
YouTube,
feel?
Instagram.
How do you maintain your health? By the way, you look great. When I first met you, you were skinny. You put some mass on.
Yeah.
You're looking good. You look healthy. You don't even. I would think today you're going to come in. You got bags on the eyes. How do you maintain the energy? How do you find time for your health, and how do you refill your cup? Because you're constantly serving, or do you derive energy by constantly giving, which is kind of my hypothesis.
2 years ago, I did a personality test. It's called the Griffiths test, and it talks about there's 36 personality traits everybody has, and then it ranks them. And my 5th highest on mine is called includer. So I love doing things with people and including things. It's probably why I'm so good at building community. I'm obsessed with it. And it's a natural thing. I wake up, it's like, what do you wake up and want to do naturally that you don't have to look at a checklist and be like, I got shit to do, right? So I get energy from being around other people.
Love that.
And pouring into them like you do too. That's actually the day with pace thing. Somebody told me, they go, you don't ever make any time for yourself. I go, you know what I'll do? I'll make Thursdays all about me, but I'll invite 15 people.
Love that.
So now it's like Black Hawk, flying planes, bazookas. Now we're moving to Montana for the next 4 months. Every summer we'll be in Montana. So I want to learn how to fly fish.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll go hire a fly fishing guide, go to Kalispell, and then invite 15 people to come and learn it with me. So now I'm killing 2 birds, 1 stone. And so that's what I'm doing now, is spending every Thursday as a personal day.
Siri, text Pace to get on the list for
100%,
these
bro.
epic days. Robert and I for the next,
We would
the
love to have
next
you up
year,
there.
one Thursday. Thanks.
We have this thing called community camp twice a year, where you're not allowed to talk about business and work. You do because you're networking with people. But we invite all of the big givers in our community, the people who are helping other people get deals.
The Ingrid Hernandez, Marlon
Johnson. Yeah, you know them all.
I mean, those guys are, by the way, great
Sam
job of
Sings.
mentoring those
You
people.
did
Those
this
guys
last
are
year
killing
with
it.
Jerry Norton, correct?
I did it with Jerry, Vina Jetty,
Yeah.
Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets. At the time, Tim Ballard, the guy who did the movie.
Yeah, that was a great
Sound of
movie.
Freedom, right?
Yeah, he was our guest speaker. It was a good movie.
Amazing. Great movie.
We raised like $500,000 for him. But what we did is we were like, all right, every real estate event is in a ballroom. F that. We're not doing that anymore.
No.
Let's do the anti-ballroom, which is like private lake, boating.
It's so much more intimate. People get out of their shell. They connect.
Cherry
They
picking.
get vulnerable.
We
I
went
love
cherry
it.
picking day 1. We went and visited one of my RV parks day 2. And then we had a hoedown. We got like country music singers and had everybody dress up in cowboy gear. And then the third
You
day,
had an epic belt. You had some custom belt
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
It was beautiful.
we had we go, all right, day 3 is a scavenger hunt. So we had a company create an app for all of our people to go around the valley, and they had to go and find a house with a yellow door that blah, 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 tag it, take a photo, put your team in front of it, and then meet us at the top of Glacier National Park.
Amazing.
So like doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we do that twice a year. We'd love to have you guys up there. That'd be great.
Love it. Yeah.
We're
have to
doing
ask
one in
them.
July 24th and 26th. You have to have helped somebody else get a deal in the community in order to get a ticket to it.
Amazing.
So it's really hard to get into, and it creates a culture in the community of like all about helping other people.
Yeah.
And then the next one's in the first week of September. Jerry's house is day 2 on the lake. My house, my property is on 20 acres. That's on day 2, and we have like 500 people that come out to that.
It's amazing.
It's a blast, yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's right by where I grew up. I'm from Calgary.
Yeah, we're next door
It's north
neighbors,
of-
dude.
Next door neighbors.
Half of that whole valley is a bunch of Canucks, bro. Everybody's eating poutine in Montana. It's the weirdest thing ever.
I think it's a great idea. Like one of the things, so we typically once a year we'll get our top clients together.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll do the kind of incognito name is like the Cartel Summit.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, and it's funny, like when I first did it, I remember like I was sending a survey out to people and asked them like, what do you think? And I remember one person, their initial reaction was like, oh, I wish there was more structured time. Because when I do my events, there's like no structured time. Like we're going scuba diving.
I
We're going
remember
on a
you telling me
yacht,
about this.
and
I was
we're-
like, I love this whole freaking thing. It's what people
It's
don't want
build
another
relationships.
structured thing, dude.
No, I'm like, look, all the best game. Like when I go to a real estate event, a lot of times I don't even go in and listen to the presentations, right? Unless it's someone like you or someone like Zach, like someone that's like a friend of mine speaking. I kind of want to, like listen to them and like give them some feedback afterward. Hey, great job on your speech,
Yeah,
whatever.
by the way, you did a great job on your speech in Puerto Rico last time I
Thank
saw
you.
you. Killed
Appreciate
it.
it. Appreciate it. Yeah. But I always get all the value afterwards, like going to the dinner, going to the bar, going out for drinks or whatever. That's when people like actually share the real game.
Actually,
That's where
you and,
build
you and I had breakfast that morning.
Yeah.
We hung out in that little restaurant, me,
Yeah.
Eric, your team. And we hung out for 2 hours, and that's like one of the best parts of the whole event.
Yeah, exactly. Just hanging out.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is so I remember someone put down their survey, and then a couple years later, they're like, that was actually the best event of my entire career.
Yeah.
And I was like, why was that? He's like, because all my best friends in real estate, I met at that event.
Yes.
And we had like 1 hour of structure time. That was it.
We did the same thing. So on community camp last year, I go, I feel like we have to have something structured.
Yeah.
So we rented a hotel ballroom for 4 hours on day 1. And a lot of people, so the wives and children, we let everybody bring their wives and children to the event.
Love that.
They were down doing cherry picking.
Yeah.
Because in Montana, it's like, this is the time that everybody's cherry picking. And then all the men were in the hotel ballroom. I was like, how was that? Oh my gosh. It was like Jerry's best speech I've ever heard him do. Vina Jetty killed it. Henry Washington from Bigger Pockets, he killed it. And everybody's like, we feel like we missed out on cherry picking. I was like, we freaking did, man. Let's never do that again. F that. Like, let's just do cherry picking, dude. So we're just doing more of that kind of stuff. And, going back to the reason we got onto this was how much harder are you working today than you were 5 years ago? And most people, what's funny is like if you told yourself 15, 20 years ago, you'd have the money you have, the assets you have, the friends, the accolades, all the things you have, you'd be like, that's beyond anything I can imagine 20 years ago.
Right.
In fact, your goal 20 years ago was probably like, I want to get to a point where I make 300 grand a year, and then I'm going to vacation more, and I'm going to live that good life. It's like, you make way more money than that. You work way harder because I think you found the lane that you're obsessed with.
Right.
And you found purpose also in that lane. And so I don't feel like I work ever.
Right.
Yeah. How do you do it? What do you mean I don't work? You don't work?
It's a beautiful thing.
I see you going to quinceañeras and hanging out with your guys and having birthday parties. You know all your tenants' names. I've been with you, bro. Like you love your people and your people love you. Your tenants truly love you and they appreciate you. It's like, you don't work. You get to do what everybody wishes they could do.
Yeah.
Same thing with you. Look at all your clients and how much money they're making.
I just hang out with them all day.
It's freaking dope.
My goal this year is to be responsible for nothing.
I love when you said that. That's so great.
I want to be
my
responsible. I'm not on the org chart of any of my companies, which is great. And I think that's been also super helpful for the visionary side of me. Like, what are the cool things I can create now that nothing's holding me back?
By the way, I set that goal after we spent the day. Guys, if you haven't seen the behind the scenes with Pace, we spent a couple days together. And I was watching you operate. And I was thinking, I was like, wow, these offices are just running themselves.
Yeah. In
I
fact,
need to get to that level.
I'm a distraction when I go in there.
It's amazing.
It's a problem. Like, Josiah Grimes.
Yeah, of course.
Josiah and I are partners on 4 businesses together.
Yeah.
And so it's like your brother is your COO.
Yeah.
It's like, that's Josiah for me. And then my other partner, Cody Barton, runs our other businesses. and then Molly Tennant, who runs she runs all my assets and runs all that kind of stuff. We bought a 221 unit in Birmingham, Alabama. This is about a year ago. And I go, I wasn't part of the acquisition. Man, that's a really hard feeling to feel. Like I remember calling Zach Keeps or calling Brent Daniels and going, I need help on acquisitions, to the point, and I found purpose in that. I was like, I am the best closer of all time.
Right.
You know, internally, that was my identity. And now I'm like, wait, what do you mean the team doesn't need, you guys don't want me? You don't want me around? I had like this pride check for a little while to be like, wait, hold on. That means I've made it. Or at least I've made my own little dream come true, which is I'm responsible for nothing.
Yeah.
And my team's frustrated when I'm around. You're just going to come up with another thing for us to do. Please leave. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll hang out with Zach Keeps and Mr. Harvard Wensley over here.
Right.
I love that.
Here's my other question for you. You've got all the success. You've got amazing momentum. What's the end goal? Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? What is on? I know you got these Thursdays, kind of like bucket list things, which are incredible. Every one of those things sounds incredible to me. What's still on your bucket list for you, and where do you see yourself in 5 to 10?
I want to destroy, dismantle, and rebuild the title and escrow industry.
Okay.
Why specifically do I care about that? It seems to be working fine.
Yeah.
But when you're doing sub-2 seller finance, novation agreements, you're doing lease options, you're doing wraps, all sorts of creative strategies, bro, it's the hardest part of that.
Yeah.
I can get a seller, an attorney, an agent, everybody on board with the transaction, but then I go to, like, let's say Massachusetts or New Hampshire, or Vermont, or California, whatever, or a different city in Texas. And the agent's like, well, let's use my title company. Please, God, no, please. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
And so this year we're launching a 50-state nationwide title and escrow business that has a uniform process for all creative finance transactions. And the name of the title company is Creative Title and Escrow. And so if you want to get a sub-2 deal done, it's the same exact process. Does not matter what state you're in. You can be somebody who does a deal in Florida today and then a deal in Texas tomorrow, and the process will be identical.
Amazing.
And it's not like that. I mean, even here in our own state, you go to Pioneer Title versus Fidelity Title.
It's a nightmare.
It's a completely different. It's like, wait, I'm just
You're not using your person. It's like how much time does it take away from your core business?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like, it's not even the title and escrow business that trains them. It's like the escrow officer themselves actually runs the whole entire office.
Right.
And so you'll go, no, I don't want to do business with your girl. I already know what's going to happen. I've been bitten the freaking nuts 100 times. You've lost out on deals. Deals have fallen apart. You've breached contract because you had the wrong escrow officer, not intentionally, but like the thing gets kicked down the road. You got addendums that got to get signed, not because you didn't follow through, but because they didn't.
Right.
And so that's our big, like, how do we change the industry thing?
Yeah.
That's our next
Are you
thing.
taking investors? I mean, Rob and I may want to throw in. What's the deal with that?
No.
You probably got it covered.
We have it
You
covered.
and Josiah, Jamil, look at the smile.
We actually gave away, it's Josiah running it.
Yeah.
We gave away 25% of it to my students
Wow.
That's amazing.
because I want my
awesome.
students to feel like they own something that's going to change the industry.
Yeah.
Plus, then it's going to force them to obviously not force. But they're going to want to use it.
Don't tell anybody to hit the genius of the marketing.
Look at this. Look at this guy.
But yeah, that's the intertwined. Like, hey, if they own part of it, they're going to talk about it. So, I want to get on platforms like Jerry's platform and other platforms people are starting to have out there, other SaaS products where somebody gets a deal done. Let's say like through Batch, and it's like, okay, you got a contract. Where are you going to open up title and escrow?
Plug it right in.
I want to have it plugged in.
By the way, that's on our roadmap for Q3, Q4. So we should talk about
I
it
see
more.
a synergy there.
Let's
for
collaborate.
Sure. Yeah.
100%. So if you can have it on Investorlift, like who's the title and escrow company?
Yeah.
We'll give you guys. We'll even give you guys a kickback, but the process will be identical for every one of your clients' transactions. Same thing with cash. We want cash and doing burst strategies. Like, why is this unique every time I go to a different escrow officer, it's a different experience. Why is that the case? So that's the big like industry changing thing we're going to do over the next 5 years.
that.
Yeah.
Love that. All right. We got two segments.
Final question.
Final
Sorry,
question.
it's just.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
it's
this was
been
the
burning.
warm up, bro. What are you
This is
talking
the
about?
warm up. I always love this. Your parents.
Yeah.
Do they see as the same pace? How proud are they? What do they say about your accomplishments and kind of your growth? Where are you at with them in terms of?
I'm
I'm
actually really struggling with my parents, dude. Like my mom and dad have gone through a lot, and my dad still borrows money from me. and it's not a fun situation. When there was a point where in my life when I just had met Laura 16 years ago. My dad couldn't pay his bills, and so I stepped in and took care of my mom and the 6 kids that were still in the house.
Wow.
And I was taking care of another household as well. And I'm 26 years old at the time.
Wow.
So that was really hard for me. And my dad steps back in. Prior to that, I give my dad like a $300,000 loan. And then my dad, like throughout my life, has always come to me, even before I was in real estate, when I was in construction. Hey, I need 20 grand. Hey, I need this. Hey, I need to borrow money. Add it to my tab. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like I've just been a bank account to my dad well before anybody even knew who I was. And even like 5 years ago, my dad came to me and goes, hey, I need $1,500. Bro, you need $1,500?
Right.
So I go, all right, Dad, no problem. But here's the deal. All the money you owe me, $500,000, I'm just going to waive the 500 grand and I'm going to give you the $1,500.
But you can't ask me ever again.
You can never ask me ever again.
knew it, yeah.
And then 2 months ago, my dad pins me up against the wall in my own house. He's like, I need $15,000. And I'm like, so I text Tony, my bookkeeper, and I'm like, hey, Tony, it's a woman. And I tell her, hey, I'm going to put you in a group chat with my dad. So I put her in a group chat with my dad and I go, hey, Tony, this is my dad, This is the last $10,000 I'm giving him. Next time my dad asks me for money, the answer is no, please do not let me. And I'm telling it's in this group chat. My dad doesn't say thank you. My dad doesn't say anything else. Honestly, I don't have any trauma over this.
Yeah.
I'm not going around my day like with a black cloud over me. I have learned how to compartmentalize my father and my mom from my daily life. I love them, but I have to love them at a distance because there's this direct correlation of like, if I spend time with my mom and my dad, my ability to make money goes way down. And if my ability to make money goes down, then my ability to help other people also goes down.
Yeah.
And so I've had to do this. And I've had to squelch that and like go, okay, Christmas, Thanksgiving, pool party once a year. I'm not calling, texting. I'm not getting involved in their stuff. I've given my mom opportunities to have a job and work on my team. She just like wants to live her life the way, you just can't change some people.
Yeah. Did you have a rough childhood?
No, the best.
Really?
And I respect my mom and dad for that. My dad had 12 kids. I got spanked and I should have gotten spanked. I believe in spanking. People are like, oh, you shouldn't hit kids. I'm so glad I got spanked. It's what like taught me that my dad was serious.
Yeah.
And my dad paid the bills and things were done. But then when I got older, my dad didn't look at me as a son. My dad looked at me as a bank account. And so for me to just be like, look, I'm going to remember the good times with you.
Yeah.
And my dad taught me how to make money, as a contractor. And because of that, I was able to build an empire. I'm eternally grateful for them. But I now have a responsibility to stay away from my father as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
You know, when you have hundreds of employees and I spend time around dude, you guys know this. You go spend time with somebody that has a broken mindset, you walk away like
Deflated,
bro.
Totally.
So
toxicity.
a couple of weeks ago, one of my friends from high school comes in town and he's like, hey, let's go grab lunch. I go, all right, well, I'm not like a lunch person, but let's go do it. And I go do lunch and he's telling me all his problems. And his biggest problem is that he has $200,000 of equity in his house and he doesn't know what to do with it.
It's a good problem to have.
And I kept telling him that. But it's like he's complaining about it and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, bro, you got any other problems? Like,
Right.
I could have solved this in 14 seconds. Like,
You could have FaceTimed me.
yeah, you could have FaceTimed me. And so this is 2 hours. I drive away from the lunch meeting going, man, why am I so lucky to have what I have? And maybe I shouldn't have everything that I have. And man, other people have problems I don't have. Like, this is all, my world's going to fall apart and I'm going to go back to, I literally started becoming him in 2 hours. So then, do you guys know the undercover billionaire,
Yeah.
Glenn Stearns and
Grant Cardone did a great job season 2.
he did a great job. So I'm in LA speaking at Aspire like 2 weeks after this lunch with my friend. And I get an invite to Glenn Stearns' house for dinner. And this guy, like you walk into his house and he's got, okay, so the Titanic sunk. There's a ship that saves the people from the Titanic.
Yeah.
It's the Britannica. And that ship goes into the war and gets torpedoed and sinks to the bottom of the ocean. They find it 25 years ago. Well, guess who buys it? And who puts the helm of that ship in his front?
Glenn?
Glenn.
Oh my God.
So You walk in this guy's house, and the helm of the
Wow.
Britannica is in his house. You can touch it, spin it, all this kind of crap. Like the history of this whole thing. And I walk in, there's 60 people at dinner, like movie stars and all sorts of people. And I get invited to this thing, and I'm out on his back balcony and looking out over the ocean. He's in La Jolla area, and not La Jolla, Malibu. And I'm looking out over the ocean. He comes up behind me and goes, "This isn't the Pace Morby that I invited to my dinner." I go, "What?" He goes, "I can feel the energy. Something's going on with you.
Wow.
You're not the Pace Morby that I invited."
Wow.
And he goes in and he tells me this amazing story, which we don't have time today. And he reinvigorates me and like reminds me like why I was there, and that most importantly, I am such a I'm just a human being. I absorb the energy of whoever I'm around.
Totally.
And I'm not that strong. I have to keep myself in really good rooms. Otherwise, I become a piece of shit. And he tells me the story, and I get excited. And he goes, "That's the Pace Morby that I invited to dinner. Let's go have dinner." And I walked away from this. Is 2 months ago. I walked away from that dinner going, I will never put myself in a room ever again with people that dim my light, or I have to dim my light to make their eyes not feel like I'm, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's like you go to dinner with people that have like normal problems, like old problems you had 20 years ago, and it's really hard for your really active, hyper intelligent brain that has all this experience to like bring yourself down to a level where you can actually understand what the hell they're talking about. It's like, oh, the lady at my church building is pissed off about how I park in front of my house or some stupid shit. So really, I'm hyper diligent right now, and like, who do I suck the energy from?
Yeah.
Right. And so, of course, anytime you guys text, I'm like, oh, those are the guys that like helped me in my career. I want to go. Of course, I want to hang out with Zach Keeps. You know, so
I love that guy calls you out, right?
Call me
no one
right
has
now.
the balls. Like, those are good friends. Those are people you want to surround. Anyone who doesn't call you out or give you shit, you're in the wrong
you're in
room.
the wrong room.
For sure.
His story he told me, it was really good. I'll tell it in 45 seconds. He takes me in his wine cellar. I'm not a wine drinker. He knows that, but he said, "I want to show you this bottle of wine." And it's actually champagne. And it says on it, has 2 rubber bands around it and a sticky note, and the rubber bands are holding the sticky note on the bottle because the sticky note has lost its stickiness because it's so old. And I'm like, what the hell is this bottle from? And it says, "Do not open until we win," is on the sticky note. So Glenn, in 2008 crash, owed like $5 billion.
Wow.
Okay, so Glenn, if you understand how he became a billionaire, he sold his lending business to Blackstone for like $2.9 billion was his take home.
Wow.
That was in 2017 or 18 or something. And in 2008, he owed Chase and Citibank and all these, Credit Suisse and all these companies. He owed them $5 billion, and the market was imploding. And he's like, "I'm going to either kill myself or file bankruptcy. One of the two. I'm losing everything. I've lost I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose everything." And so they basically buy this bottle of champagne to celebrate like the end of an era.
Wow.
Okay? Like, we're going to toast to all these wonderful things that we've had in our life, and we're just going to go back to our normal life. And right before they open the champagne to like toast to like filing bankruptcy and like, let's just go to a simpler life. Why did we need all this shit? He stops, he pauses, and he looks at himself. And he catches himself like in a glimpse of a mirror that's in the room. And he looks at himself and he's like, "This is not the man that my wife married. And my wife is, I'm asking my wife to toast to us giving up like a bunch of bitches. What would the man do that my wife needs right now rather than the deflated version of myself?" So he goes, "This is what I did. I called somebody in the YPO. Do you know what YPO is? Young Presidents Organization.
Okay.
It's like a networking
Like
organization.
an entrepreneurs organization?
Yeah, it's like really high level.
Yeah.
So YPO, he calls somebody up in YPO and he goes, "I just need to borrow like $5,000. Like, this guy owes $5 billion in cash to people and he's borrowing $5,000. I need to fly out to New York and spend 2 weeks in New York, and I'm going to renegotiate all my loan terms." This is as the market is falling apart. And he goes out there and he tells everybody, "This is everybody I owe money to. If one of you guys say no to these new terms, I'm filing bankruptcy and I'm just going to go back to an old life. But I don't think you're going to say no because you know me. I'm going to work my ass off to make all your money back and way more." So they all say yes. They all restructure his debt. He rebuilds his lending business, starts from, being $5 billion behind the 8 ball in the worst lending catastrophe of freaking all time. And he sells the business and walks away in 2017, so 9 years later, with $2.9 billion in his pocket. Guess what? Still doesn't open the champagne bottle. Still doesn't open it.
I love it.
And Blackstone calls him back up in 2020. And they go, we've lost the culture of this company. We need you back. So they structure a deal where he's going to make another $3 billion on this new structure. So he goes back to run the lending business again. So he'll walk away with like $6 billion from this. And I'm like, why has the bottle of champagne not been opened? And he says, I've been waiting for you to ask that. And he goes, what part of me do you think has won? I haven't won yet. I have not won yet. This bottle is not going to get popped until blah, 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 blah. He tells me this other thing. And he's like, so all these things that you're dealing with, whatever thing you had with your friend the other night, get around other people that feel like they haven't won at life. And he kept giving me this really great advice. I wish I wrote down all the things he said. It was just so impactful. And I said, what's your secret? I go, what's the one thing you would tell me right now? He said, don't get in a room of other people that will make you dim your light.
Yeah.
And I said, how did you get out of that financial struggle? How did you go from 2008 to 2017? He says, 100% of it was me being around the right people.
Yeah.
100% of it. And I love that answer because it's like, that's the same thing with me. I'm not self-made. I'm environment made, dude. Like my environment and the people I put in the room, or the people that walked in the room with me, and the people again, Zach Keeps and other people, I probably have probably a good 30 to 40 people I could personally think right now, Zach Keeps definitely being in that group, that without them, I would be a contractor still swinging a hammer and proud of it. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, think about all the people that I actually get to help now. Same thing with you.
Yeah.
There's something somewhere, somebody helped you, somebody said something to you, and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to build an Investorlift.
Yeah. I tried to get other people to build it. No one wanted to build it. So I was like, screw it, I got to do it on my own.
And we're the crazy ones, dude. We're the crazy lunatics that somebody says you can't do something, and you freaking go do it.
Yeah.
Great story, great lessons. I mean, the whole point, right? The whole vulnerability, people connect to vulnerability, right? They don't say, here's my KPIs, here's how much I make here. No one gives a shit. They care, how can that person serve me? What can I extrapolate from this conversation to implement in my life today to become a better person, a mentor, energy, relationships? There's so many just great takeaways. I love the fact that they say, you don't stop when you're tired, you stop when you're done.
Yes.
And that guy was tired,
still not
but
done.
He wasn't done. I don't think you're ever going to be done, by the way. I think you're going to go to your grave serving people, with great advice.
Brent Daniels had a really good thing he did to me. This is, again, like 5-6 years ago. He calls me, Jesse Burrell, Annie, Evo, Jamil, and like Raphael and a couple of other people in a room. And he says, like it or not, you are all my board of advisors. I was like, oh shit, I'm not your board of advisor. He goes, yes, you are. You spend too much time around me for you not to be. I was like, I don't give you any advice. He's like, just by the way you move, you operate, I am absorbing your energy. So whether you like it or not, and whether I like it or not, you are my board of advisors.
Yeah.
So he says, if you don't grow by 25% this year, we cannot be friends.
I love that.
And so he makes everybody, this is 2018.
Signs a contract.
Basically.
Yeah.
He makes everybody stand up in front of the room, take turns. Steve Trang was in the room too. And he says, everybody needs to write down your income and how much you have to grow by next year. And we're going to have this meeting next year. So we had that meeting next year. Half the room showed up. The other half did not.
Wow.
And we had the meeting the next year. Half the room showed up. The other half did not. And now that room is like basically 4 people out of that whole entire group.
Wow.
And I really learned something from Brent of like, I love you. You're my friends. You're my board of advisors.
But accountability.
Accountability. And he says, I have a responsibility to the people that depend on me, my wife, my children, my employees. And every time I make a decision to spend time away from them, I'm borrowing time from them to give to somebody else. And I have to bring back an ROI on my time.
Yeah.
And if I'm spending time with you, that means you're spending time with me, which means you're borrowing time from somebody else as well. And we have a responsibility to each other to hold each other accountable, call each other out on our bullshit, and force each other to grow. Otherwise, we're just stealing time away from the people that depend on us. you know, the people that are incapable of doing what we are capable of, and the reasons why we're put on this planet. Man, that hit me so hard. And Brent will send us text messages like, send me screenshots of your bank account. Prove to me that you have that much money. Prove to me you have that much assets. I'm like, holy shit.
Right.
So think about having friends like that.
Yeah.
Love it. Brent's got crazy.
great.
I don't know him that well, but all my interactions with him, incredible. His energy is just insane. He's a smart guy.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
gotta
We
get him
need
on.
him on here, actually.
You
should have Brent
I want to
get
get
on
to
here.
know him
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
I owe a lot to Brent. I owe a lot to Zach. Tremendous amount to Jamil. You know, and Jamil went through a really. Did you guys have Jamil on recently?
Not recently.
We need to get him on.
He went through a divorce, had a massive surgery, lost a lot of things in his life last year, and he says to me, you know, why'd you stick through everything with me last year? You were on a rocket ship, and I was like, you know, having a hard time. I'm like, bro, I have why? Because I have a good memory.
Yeah.
I remember when you were this and I was this, and you carried me up and you forced me into success. And so, you know, just a lot of good dudes. You got to put yourself around and watch each other's backs. It's the secret to life.
1,000%. Yeah. Good for you.
Another great Calgary guy. Jamil's from Calgary.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta get him on too.
Have him tell
100%.
stories about the Calgary Stampede and all the stupid shit he did at the Calgary Stampede.
That's like it's like Vegas. It's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Right.
Yeah.
What happens in
We
Calgary
need a
Stampede?
Vegas trip. That'd be fun. Little Vegas
You guys
podcast.
should do
do it.
one. For the
Haven't been there
people
for a while.
watching this, and I would hopefully the editors could pop this up at the very beginning, but the takeaway I would tell the people that are watching this is sit down and write down the 5 names that you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. If you take those 5 people and you take their income and you add it up in a column, you add it up, you can do it on an Excel spreadsheet, Tom, Dick, Harry, blah, 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 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand, for whatever it is they make per year. And you take that number and then divide it by the 5.
Mm-hmm.
That is the maximum amount of money you can make by hanging out with those people.
Yeah.
And when you look at that number, you go, oh, crap. Because what did Jim Rohn say? Jim Rohn says your personal income will never outpace your personal development.
Yeah.
And your personal development comes from the people you're around.
100%.
So when people are like, I'm struggling, I can't find traction, I can't do this, that, and the other. Well, look at the 5 people you're spending the most time with.
Yeah.
And you'll come up with your answer.
It's incredible.
Good shit. Mic drop. There it
Mic
is.
drop. Okay, we gotta do some deal or no deal.
Okay, let's
So
do it.
this is a special segment of the show
Okay.
where we go on Investorlift and
Okay.
we're gonna look at real deals and see if we can find some real deals. But before we do that, I gotta take a piss.
Yes, sir.
Harris County. Ooh, Houston, Texas, 115,000.
You would know those deals. I would know nothing about those.
I do. I would stay away from anything in Houston, Texas.
Hey, that's my money from Investorlift. I make $30,000 per assignment. That's why we have so much money. It could be you. Come to Investorlift. Come check it out.
Oh,
But you're
perfect.
right. You go into the, you look at the micro versus the macro. When you look at the macro, you're like, why would I ever? I haven't sold much of anything.
Bro.
I'm 16% leverage. 16%.
That's it?
That's it.
Is your goal to be 0?
No, because that's foolish. I like strategic leverage, right?
I'm not where you're at right now. I'm probably 70% leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And 16% leverage is so good,
16%.
dude. People
But
don't
the thing
get
is
it.
this, but also I would put more, but the banks, they don't like, it's so
Yeah.
weird right now, they don't have a big appetite. I'm the largest borrower at First Fidelity.
And they're
the
slow.
largest. I'm like, hey, can I get some more lines of credit? I think you're our largest. We'd have to sell some debt to loan more to you. And they're $1 billion bank.
Wow.
I could go to any other bank, but I would respect that relationship.
right.
So I'm just kind
You're
of
their biggest
self-producing.
borrower.
I'm their largest private borrower.
Wow.
That's freaking great. How's that feel? Need to start Keeps Bank, bro.
No, I'm not even that big. I swear.
I've seen your dick, dude. It's pretty big.
I mean, hopefully it was hard because I'm a grower, not a shower.
It might have been hard, bro. I
Yeah,
don't know. I
I'm
was
sure
pointing
it
down
was.
towards the ground.
Face the
But
senior
that's
investor with
crazy.
buyer profile.
Nah,
Flips history and buy.
Great buyer,
Fine,
small
hold this here.
penis. I'm hung like a button on a fur coat. I'm like a dentist. You won't feel a thing, sweetheart. I promise you that, baby. All right, let's keep moving. Cut. All right, let's
All
go.
right.
keep all that
Should
in,
we look
dude.
at some deals? Okay, so let's go to Phoenix. Do we
I don't
want to
know
go to
these
Phoenix?
other
We got to
markets.
do Phoenix or Scottsdale or something like that. Just go up to the top and search.
I would take you say I look at market over anything else. Like, okay, Vegas. I like Vegas a lot. I hate Bakersville, California. Lancaster, you miss me on all the California bullshit. Sandy, I don't even care. I don't care about any of the crap that goes on in Vegas.
Let's do something.
I only do Arizona, but Pace can talk about any other deals. It doesn't matter.
I'm down with Maricopa. I'm down with Maricopa.
Maricopa.
So here we got Maricopa, California.
Zoom in a little bit more.
Okay, Mesa, Arizona, $299.
Right there.
3-bed, 3-bath for $299. Are you kidding me? Okay. Square footage.
1889. 1-car carport. That ain't it.
Wait,
Why do they have different
Why is
pictures?
that a different photo?
Oh, that's so strange.
They might have just accidentally selected it when they were
Okay,
putting
so
their
this,
photos.
I look at a deal like this immediately and I go, this is, if I could turn a 3-bed, 3-bath into a co-living space at $299, like my basis in a Mesa asset at $299.
That brings you $5,400 a month, right?
Yeah, that could bring me $5,400 a month.
Crazy. Well, that's killer.
It's
But what does it cost you to stabilize that into it? 50, 60 grand?
60 grand.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's still a
60
great
grand.
cash on cash return.
Right. So if I'm in at, okay, 3-bed, 18, bro, that's a deal. Like I actually would buy that deal today.
ARV 460. You wanna call a guy right now?
Like 3-bed, 3-bath starting at $299. Why is he saying starting at $299?
I hate that they do that. I agree. What's the buy now price? We want Definity when evaluating
Are
it.
they
They do have an option to put it buy it now, but we leave it up to them whether or not they want to do buy it now or not. It's interesting you say you don't like the starting. We experimented it. That was an A/B test we ran. Asking price versus starting price. And what we found is we got a lot more offers. It was like a 20 or 30% bump in offers by putting starting price.
Like somebody like me, I'm not going to waste my time and say, I'm going to submit a bid. I want to know what I can buy right now. I'm going to go deal with somebody that has...
They got to win it now there for 305.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
Okay, so I look at this deal, and why would this deal have not moved? Is because if I'm a traditional, let's say I'm a buyer, right? I buy, I renovate, I refinance. I'm having to look at everything right now with regular rental rates. So do you use Rentometer? What do you use for like looking at rentals?
Just use my own
MLS?
portfolio.
Yeah, no shit.
To be honest. But of course, I look and see what's around.
Flex.
What's so interesting, Pace, here, I can go on the MLS and the rents in my general neighborhood, they're probably $2,000, but I get $2,200 or $2,300 all day long. You want to know why? Because those people are just lazy managers throwing a number. They're not the owner.
Yeah.
And they're not providing the same level of service. I say you want to deliver a 5-star service, you're going to get a 5-star, you're going to pay 5-star price.
Yeah, I love that.
So I look at
this deal and it hasn't sold.
It's only been up since May 7th. What is it?
5 days. Okay, so it hasn't sold, that's a very short time frame. It's not even a week. But somebody that understands the co-living model, like think about this. If I was going to do let's say I was a Astro flipper, right? My job is to find a deal and then find the buyer and make a spread between $299 and whatever their price is.
Yeah.
I would go find the co-living buyers and go, I've got a deal in Mesa, Arizona, and sell it to them for I'd pull a deal off Investorlift and wholesale it for $315.
Yeah.
This is a deal for a co-living buyer that's like, yeah, interest rates are high, but I can get $5,500 on this single family home, whereas regular rent rates for this home is probably $1,900 to $2,200 for that house.
So let's play this through. So somebody in the community, they want to do a co-living. They see this house. Astro, Jamil's, the Tranter brothers, whoever calls you up. Pace, I got this deal. How would that individual in the community finance this? They don't have cash. This is not seller finance. What does that capital raise look like on this deal? So you can bring in $5,400. You've proven it. You need 50 or 60 to stabilize at $315 with closing costs. Let's call it $375. Cash on cash is great depending on the rate. Who's providing the financing on this?
So let's say I'm buying it on a cash deal. It's obviously not a seller finance deal. I would go, there's a company we use, myinvestorloan.com. Go to My Investor Loan. They'll give you 70% of the purchase. Then go to, we have like, I don't know if this is real, but like people will inflate their numbers. But in our community, it looks like we have like $500 million in private capital. It's a massive number.
Believe it.
Massive, massive number. So I would just go to the community and go, hey guys, I need 6-month loan, $150,000 for my purchase and for my renovation. I'll get you refinanced out. Even if my refinance is 7.5%, which I think that's probably what it would be right now, I'm still cash flowing on this thing.
Huge.
Wiping everybody out. I would refinance probably, the ARV on this thing's probably, I don't know, probably 400 grand, I would say. 3-bed, 3-bath in Mesa.
400s.
I bet the comps are probably 400, 415. I could get all my money out of that deal, or almost all of it,
Yeah.
And if I can't get all my money out of the deal, out of the refinance, I would keep my private money lender on as a partner until I could.
Love that.
You know, I make him what I call a pimp, a PMP, a private
Yeah.
money partner, and go, hey, I'm going to keep you in the deal. You're going to be my partner. We'll split the cash flow until the property appraises for higher, or until I can figure out how to get you out or whatever. But I almost want to do this deal now. Like, I
Do you
almost
want to call him? You want to talk to him about the deal?
It's right here.
There's his phone number.
Let's call him. Let's call
You
him.
want to call him?
I mean, you
Just
still
dig
gotta
a little
see it.
deeper.
Now, will you buy
I'm
this
surprised
sight
it
and
hasn't
see?
moved.
I won't buy it sight unseen. I
Right.
learned too
Don't buy
much.
it sight
I,
unseen, yeah.
I learned too much from Zach Keeps.
Oh, stop.
But
Here's
if
my
you
other
want to go
question,
see
though.
it,
Can other
We
people
can.
outside your community access that 500 million?
Easy.
So
Oh,
how do
outside my
people? This is
community?
really good for the
so
people.
that's worth joining sub 2 just there. Like,
No, I get it. So join it. But
Yeah.
even if you didn't join, and I encourage people to join, Pace is incredible.
Yeah.
But if you're outside, you have a deal, you got your own thing going, but you need private money and access to your community, how do they get into that?
Okay, this is a good one. So go to public. I think you guys could probably put this on Investorlift at some point. But if you go to like county recorder's office, they show you all the second lien positions.
And then you
we
get
have
those
all that
people.
data too. Yeah.
But you
Right.
guys already have the people lined up. One call.
Yeah.
How do they? Can they post the deal on your Facebook
Yeah,
group?
if you're inside the sub 2 community, we do 39 Zooms a week.
Wow.
People are hyper connected. There's
Yeah.
meetups every single week, nationwide, 150 meetups every single week. People are hyper connected in sub 2, as you guys already know and see.
You have the strongest community. There's
it's-
there's nothing even close.
No, nothing.
When
Yeah.
people ask me what community should I join, I'm like,
Right.
dude, there's like one.
Yeah.
Sub 2.
So I tell people that all the time. Like, there is no other community besides sub 2.
No.
Everybody says they have a community. It's a mentorship, which is cool too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Let's call this guy.
even my free Facebook group is pretty dope too. Like, if you're not in sub 2, go to my free Facebook group. We have like 150,000 people in it. Let's call this guy.
We'll link that, by the way,
Let's
guys.
see if he answers. I love how nobody answers the
Agents,
phone.
bro. Scroll
Go
down.
down. Let's see the guy, Alex. Let's call him.
Alex.
Okay, Alex.
Good
If he
looking
doesn't
dude.
answer, I can pop in the back end and figure out who owns the company. We can call it.
That's okay.
Call the
We'll go on to
CEO.
another deal. He's going to miss out selling if he doesn't answer.
Okay, good thing is I don't know who he is. He's not already in my phone, so it's perfect.
Alex Daly.
He's gonna be surprised when he hears it's Pace Morby.
Hey, this is Pace.
calling.
He's going to think it's a prank call.
He's gonna think I'm here with CEO of Investorlift and the #1 buyer.
To record this.
Yeah.
Why? This is Arizona. We have the right to record anything.
Right. It's a two,
Yeah.
two system. Yeah, it's not Texas.
Texas
Great
is a
for
two-party.
This is unbelievable. Nobody answers the phone. This bothers me. It's crazy. How can you sell a deal and you don't answer?
Please leave a message after the beep.
Should
Not
the
even a
text say-
voicemail.
Hey, Alex, I believe that this is Alex. I'm calling about the property in East Mesa. Cute little pink shutters. Hey, scroll up so I can see the address. What's the address on this thing?
Address request.
Okay, never mind. I can't see the full address. It's on.
we got it.
I'm
We
scrolling
got
through
it.
Investor List. There it is. 2142 North Stockton Place in Mesa, Arizona. I do a lot of co-living in Phoenix, Arizona. I think this is priced pretty close to where I needed to be to make a co-living house work. Just want to know if you guys have any experience or know if this neighborhood can do co-living so I can make the same cash flow at the high rates that we're dealing with. Give me a call back on my cell phone that I called you on. My name is Pace Morby. Hope to hear from you today. Thank you so much.
Yo, Luigi, give me my
Hi,
laptop.
this is the President of the United States. I'm going to need you to call
Oh, you
me
said
back.
that's
We're
the
going into war. The sooner the better.
Your laptop is right here, right?
I'm gonna figure out. We're gonna call.
We got
got
to
it.
call some other people. I love this. This is amazing.
I'm gonna look up who owns this company. We're gonna call.
But let's go on to the next deal. They don't answer. They don't deserve the house to be sold.
Wait, what's the guy's name? Alex. That's why it hasn't sold yet.
Alex.
Alex Daly. Okay.
Alex Signs.
I love Alex.
Alex Signs.
Okay, let's go on another one. Do another maze anywhere. These are great.
Stay within PX.
But it's really
Oh, you know
important.
what you can do? Let's look at seller finance sub 2. Go up to the top and we can filter to just see seller finance sub 2 deals.
Available.
Go to property tags. Property tags on the left.
Tell me you're from Canada without telling me you're from Canada.
Seller finance.
Seller financing.
Tags.
Sub 2. Click sub 2 as well. There we go.
They're always the high-end houses. Like, you'll get a ton of seller finance deals at like
5.75 million,
yeah.
Oh,
2.25
it's Green
900.
Elephant Development. This is Cody's got
Bryant's?
the deal.
Bryant?
Yeah, Cody and Bryant.
the 5.75 one.
Yeah.
It's theirs.
They're selling it on seller finance.
These got to be the entry fee when they put 30,000, obviously.
I bet you those are mobile homes.
Yeah, these are crazy.
Go down to the 30K one. The 35 is on the map.
This one?
Shows
yeah, that's the
1,700
entry
for
fee.
it,
Yeah,
for
100%.
sure.
I would buy
Yeah.
a 4-bed, 2-bath for $30,000. Yeah. Interest 4.87 entry. You know
Yeah,
what's
I take
funny? This is the
22.76,
craziest thing is
so-
I invented the word entry fee like 5 years ago, and now it's like become common nomenclature in the industry. It's so weird. Like when you say something and it becomes something,
the
it's
new thing.
weird.
Yeah.
What's your thought on solar on your properties?
I hate 'em.
I do too.
I hate
Kills
them.
deals.
It does
Kills
kill deals. I look at them and it's just like, we'll take them. We'll we'll assume the lease and stuff like that. It's stupid.
Such a headache.
But
though.
usually somebody sends it over like, I'm out.
I know. Same.
This is a decent little deal. Let's see, the 2276. You're not going to cash flow a lot. It's in
Buckeye.
Buckeye's really hard to rent out. I don't know why. Do you have a hard time?
I do. Yeah, my rates are definitely lower. Long term, though, I think it's going to be good. Long term, just
Like,
because of the
yeah.
growth. 5 years out.
We have, so we'll buy sub 2. Oh, Justin Piquel. I know he's one of my students. Let me call him.
He's one of your students?
Yeah, I just did a podcast with him a couple days ago. He's making like $100,000 a month right now.
Wow, that's incredible.
Just assigning sub 2 deals.
That's incredible.
He's probably got I bet you. Let's see how he operates. He's pretty.
Let's see how he answers the
Let's
phone.
call him up. He does. I don't think he has my phone number, so this will be good.
He looks like he's 14 years old.
He's young. He's 20.
Yeah.
20. Good for him. Jacob Blank 2.0.
There you go.
Guess where he lives?
California.
Detroit.
He does?
Yep, no
I like
shit.
that. That's cool.
Good for him.
I have a T-shirt in my closet from his company. His last name's Piquel, but I call him Pickle.
Pickle, of course.
And I go, oh, little pickle, big pickle. And they changed their company name to Cotton and Pickle. We'll buy your house.
Wow.
So it's not. I feel
like it.
bad. He made him
No, it's
change his
good, it's
pronunciation. Does he have a phone number on here?
Looks like he
scroll
did.
down.
I thought it was a 313 number. Go down.
Is that Detroit?
Yeah, 313 Detroit.
Scroll down. Luigi, we're going to pull up his phone number. If not, I'll look it up. in
Here
the
it is.
system.
I thought it was.
There we go. Justin.
Yeah, 313.
Where's the number? Oh, there it is.
313 327 3740.
There's 3740.
I could call him, pretend like, explain to me your seller finance
What
situation.
does sub 2 mean?
Right.
Are we recording this?
We are.
Okay. See, here's the thing that sucks about this deal too. He'll have a hard time assigning this.
Unable to take your call.
He's got it on like Google Voice. So dumb. He's gonna have a hard time selling this deal to anybody but an end buyer or somebody that's doing like co-living.
Agreed. I could buy this house today for cash in the high 2s to low 3s.
And the other thing is he also has a solar lease on it. So your PITI, you got to add another
160, 170.
plus it's probably in an HOA. So like the total cost
Yeah.
of this deal is like $2,500.
Yep. Yep, it's tough.
right,
Let's go on
Bring
to
your cash
another
flow.
one. We got to get somebody live on the phone.
Brian said Alex is going to call back. Did you get a missed call?
Who?
No, I don't know. I block all unknown numbers.
Okay. Let's do outside of Phoenix.
Do you
Go
want
to
to do
Atlanta,
Vegas?
go to Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Let's just see if there's anything out here for Atlanta.
There's another tab there for seller financing too.
Yeah, but these are like massive.
I like up in
There's
Alpharetta.
there's one more tag. We got credit financing sub 2, and there's another tag for seller financing. There we go. Select that one as well. There you go, and leave the other ones. Yeah, there we go. So
I used to live in Atlanta.
here we
Such
go.
a great. I love Atlanta.
So scroll
Great
down.
people.
Oh no, leave it in there. Leave it in there. That just means someone's. Yeah. There we go. Okay, it's the same. All right. So we got 6 creative deals in Atlanta.
Scroll down those smaller ones downtown. East Point to Shaolin.
So these ones.
Oh, I like that little Fulton County one.
That's a cute little house. Whoever remodeled
Ooh,
that.
1,000 square foot, 2-bed, 1-bath, $15,000 entry fee.
Rent ready.
Cash flowing already. Okay.
It's a condo.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like condos or no?
I don't. Do you?
No. I mean, at the right price, I do, but I prefer just the single family.
Hi, this is We Buy Houses. How can I help? Hi. Why do you have an Android?
Go to a house. Ooh, look at that picture with the blood on the mattress.
Wow.
Looks like Paige just got done with them in the bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go, baby.
6% rate, PITI, rent rates are 4. Okay.
There's gonna be HOA, right?
Yep. So the seller's walking away with no money on this deal. The person is trying to make $15,000. There's no agent involved that can almost guarantee it. And so you could probably talk this person down to like a lower, probably $7,500 plus closing costs. You have a turnkey rental that could cash flow $200-300 a month. Not bad.
It's a deal.
I would do that deal. Let me call them.
Here.
Let's see if they can go lower on their.
I mean, what I would do too is I agree with you. I mean, on that, why wouldn't they just defer their entry fee with their cash flow, right? Hey, take an equitable position with me. You want to learn real estate? I'm Pace Morby.
Yes,
Hey, listen, I'm going to come in with zero, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep you posted on this deal, and I'm giving you basically a free mentorship.
You ready for that?
Justin Piquel.
It's Justin McKell. How's it going?
It's Pace. What up, bro? How you doing?
What's up, Pace?
Hey, what's going on with that?
You got an Android.
What are you texting me from your CRM or something?
Yeah. How did I message you?
You automated.
Are you?
I'm on Investorlift trying to buy a deal from you, dude.
Okay, let's make it happen.
That deal in Buckeye.
Where's it at?
It's the one in Buckeye in Phoenix area. I guarantee you're having a hard time selling that.
A
little bit. We had an offer for a second, and they kind of backed out. They wanted to put 25 down, and they flaked.
Buckeye's a really hard place to rent out. What's the lowest you guys can do on that house?
Let's see. What do we have it on the contract at?
Your entry fee says $30K. How do we do that for nothing?
So the entry fee is 35.
On Investorlift it says 30. Just so you know.
No, not Queen Creek. Oh.
Actually, I think on Investorlift it says $3,000, not $30,000. I'm sorry, I misread it.
What part of Detroit is he in?
Hey, Piquels, what part of Detroit are you guys in?
Yep. West Bloomfield.
Right up the street. Bloomfield Hills, baby. Long Lake and Middle Belt.
Middle Belt?
Middle Belt and Long Lake.
Middle Belt. Zach Keeps, one of my good friends, is sitting next to me. He's from Bloomfield Lakes. Hills. Bloomfield Hills.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Oh,
Nice.
They're actually in Bloomfield Hills.
Such a stud. Where'd you go to high school? West Bloomfield.
Bloomfield Hills High School.
Nice, buddy. Didn't they consolidate to one big high school?
Yeah, they consolidated. It used to be Gloucester and Andover.
Yeah. Nice. Are you going to college or are you just going to go to Sub 2 University?
What, bro?
Only Sub 2 University.
I'm doing real estate full time, wholesaling.
He's killing
Good
it.
for you, buddy.
Sub 2 deals.
Nice.
He's a young 20-year-old kid making $100,000 a month.
Love it.
Wow.
It's great.
Doesn't even have a car.
It's amazing.
Lives at his parents'
Delayed
house.
gratification.
Great. So how you do it?
You guys have this many deals that you don't even know what your entry fee is?
Right.
It's from a JV partner. We were reaching out as we're speaking to you right now.
Oh, got it. Okay, reach back out to me. I got to pee. You got to tell me what the lowest entry fee is that you guys will take on that deal.
Or deferred payments.
You want zero down.
I want zero down. Why don't you guys defer your entry fee and I'll pay you in 12 months? It's like a savings account, bro.
Love it.
Okay, let me know both.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Good pace.
Later, guys. There's deals out there, bro.
Absolutely.
This makes me want to buy a flip on Investorlift today.
You want to buy one today?
Go to Cash Deals
You'll
in
be
Maricopa.
fine. Let's find one. Then let's get in the car and let's go see it.
I got a meeting at 1 o'clock. That's in 30 minutes.
Whenever you want to go see it.
Well, I'm moving to Montana on Monday, so That's going to be a problem. I'm flying to Miami on Thursday.
We'll drive out there and FaceTime it for you.
FaceTime me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got? Show me some how many cash deals you guys have in Maricopa County?
Let's pull them up. You want to pull them up, Luigi?
Would you?
But here, this is really important. I like this. So, like that deal right there, it wouldn't be on my radar. But it's really important to package it appropriately.
Yeah.
Or if you're the wholesaler, right, you say entry fee 30, or maybe negotiable. Maybe we can structure an equitable payout. Can they put a third lien for their entry fee for them to do that, just to protect their position? So it's like, how are you marketing the deals appropriately to your specific target market? Those people aren't calling me on that deal, but they would call Pace or anyone in his community to sell them appropriately on that deal. And how does it cash flow? Spell it out for them. Pace knows in 3 seconds, but somebody else who's new to it or wants to do a pad split may not understand it. So if they break it down and truly show the cash flow and how it can, provide an annuity of income for them, it makes sense.
100%.
So there's 300. How many deals are on here? Cash 213.
213.
Okay, 213 cash deals, 31,000 nationwide.
Go
is
to
what
the
that number is.
cheapest. Go to the latest and the cheapest, starting at like
Yeah,
150,000.
latest is where you're going to get the hottest because the hot stuff moves in a couple hours. So just click that latest button.
Okay,
It literally, if it's hot, it's gone in 2 hours.
I believe it.
So a lot of people look at the hottest, but hottest can get skewed because if I have a really big buyers list and I blast out to a lot
We're
of
talking
people.
about deals right now. We're not girls.
We call these the Investor Hub filters.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Do you need to use a restroom, by
Is
the way,
Investor
before we
Hub
dive in?
still around?
You good? Sorry?
Is Investor Hub still around?
Was that a thing?
Oh, it was off of 44th Street,
yeah,
Investor
yeah.
Hub. I think that they're still around.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
a-
even know the
Yeah,
principles.
Yeah, Investor Hub. They were,
Investor Hub.
Yeah,
There's an
That's
Investor
hilarious.
Hub. Yeah, yeah.
They were like a
It was
Keegley.
blue and black emblem or something.
Yeah, they went and opened up in Colorado like a couple years after that. I haven't done a deal with them in a long time, but. Okay, anything that starts with a 2.
Here, 265. Pull that deal
Okay,
up.
I like that. Is that
3-2.
Maryville?
ARV 375.
Show that. Can you
I
show
don't
the
know the zip
address?
No
codes.
one's
like-
seen it yet.
I
So
bet
this is
Zach knows
brand
zip
new.
codes.
This probably just got posted today. What's the date posted? May 13th.
Okay. It's 3-2, one car carport. View full address.
If it's in freaking Maryville,
Here we go.
41st
It
Ave.
is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great. I like that price. 269. See here, the advantage that a Zach keeps and I have is that we keep everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of guys that are like, oh, I can't make money on the flip. It's like, bro, I'm just going to keep this thing forever.
Right.
You know, you have this amazing advantage. That to me, I would try and get a little bit off of it, but I would still buy that deal. It's a small house. Are you enclosing carports on a house like this?
Typically not. I like covered parking actually for my long-term tenants. For your model, you would enclose and get the extra room and another primary bathroom.
This house is
I
too
get it.
small for a pad split.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to have
What's your minimum?
Do you wanna
1,400,
find split for-
1,500?
You
for
want
your
to have
pad split?
7 tenants in the house, so 7 rooms.
So you
Luigi,
gotta
let's
have
throw
what,
square
1,700, 1,800
footage.
square feet.
Let's do square footage.
I'd say 1,500 is your minimum.
For you. I don't love that deal at 270. I'd buy that deal at 240 for a cash deal.
Do we not have a square footage filter?
Wow.
Damn. Okay, I gotta add that.
Yep.
Okay, just do 3
Just
bedrooms,
make sure
2
you pay
bathrooms.
Zach and I for the
Right.
research.
We're adding, by the way, a FaceTime app on here, right? You can
Yeah,
communicate
mobile
with the
app's coming next
seller
month.
face to face. Wouldn't that be? Don't you think that'd be
So you
so
can
much
just click
better
a
so you
button
can
and
see who
boom,
you're
it
dealing
pops
with?
up.
Every time Zach tries to FaceTime me, I'm on a Zoom or getting
I
laid.
know he does it. Yeah, he does it.
Okay. 750?
How much is that 320 deal? Go up. What's that? Oh, that's too small for you. It's 3.2.
Downtown Gilbert, 3-bed, 2-bath for 320?
But it's small, 1,063
That's
square
really
feet.
small. Holy moly.
Yeah,
What were they doing making houses at 1,000 square feet?
crazy.
Wow.
Don't you wish we could go back in time and buy at the 40,000, 50,000? I mean, it's crazy.
I wish I flipped less and held more.
There you go.
Just like 20% more.
Right.
We hear that from every podcast
Yeah.
guest now.
4-bedroom, 1,300 square feet.
There you go.
You drive down the street and you look at the houses you sold or the houses you flipped or whatever, and you're just
know.
like, gosh, damn it.
I know.
It's good to have the active income coming in, the big chunks of money. They really do help out, but it's
sure.
just like, gosh, dude.
Look how dark these pics are.
Yeah, they need can lights in this little bad boy.
That thing's beat up. What's the address on this thing? 3 South 28th Drive. That's not in a good neighborhood.
No, that's horrible.
rough.
That's like downtown.
Yeah, terrible.
Anything below
Buckeye.
the 10 in that
Yeah.
area, oh my
Tough.
gosh, yeah.
That's not new. Because the stuff south that's in a HOA is actually good.
Oh yeah, like up against South Mountain. Yeah,
Any of
it's nice up there.
What about this one?
Chandler.
Ooh, great spread in Chandler flip.
1236.
Small little square footage.
325.
I wonder if they enclose that and that does not.
Alex
what's up
Daly
with
again.
Alex Daly just owning all this shit?
God.
This is Brian Alpass and Cody Sperber's team.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
I haven't done any deals with those guys yet.
Really?
None.
Every time when I would go on appointments, I would compete with them all the time, and I would just go, "I'll give you 10,000 EMD, no inspection period," and the sellers would be like, "Well, so what do I tell the other people?" I go, "Just give me your phone." So I had this deal. I go, "Just give me your phone." I text Brian Applis and I go,
Sorry, sold to Pace.
"No," I say, "Hey, there's this guy named Pace Morby. He's willing to do $10,000 EMD, no inspection, all the things, all the really challenging things." And then Bryant wouldn't reply like right away. He'd have to this is before Bryant got really good. He'd have to go to Sperber to get approval. And I knew that. So there was like a 2-hour delay. And I go, look, if they don't reply back in like 4 or 5 minutes,
Right. They can't compete.
they're not real buyers.
Right.
So then I buy the deal and then I turn around and sell it to them for like 15 grand higher.
It's amazing.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
We need to wrap it up.
I want to sit here and just buy a flip.
I mean,
Not
if
right
you want
now,
to buy
but
a
like-
flip, you want to buy a flip?
Not right now, but I do want to do this.
He wants to see a real deal.
If I was a newbie, right, and I'm on Investorlift, who would I go to help me comp and see if this is a good deal? I'm in Arizona. Does Investorlift help me with that? Could I go to you?
We just filmed a training course on how to comp yourself with one of the top guys in the Nick Perry, his guy that comps. He's comp probably
Jamil
10,000
does
deals.
his comping with Jamil or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing. I think there's a lot of great videos on it, but if someone's got a deal in Arizona and they want a price opinion, I'm happy to help. DM me an address. I'll give you a quick answer.
Okay,
In
cool.
Arizona.
There you go.
But,
Yeah.
but nationwide, that's a great point. That doesn't solve the issue for
Are
somebody.
you flipping right now?
I'm mostly holding. I'm buying a ton of stuff.
It does solve the problem because if you actually find the buyers, right, and you go to them and go, hey, I've got a deal. I want, blah, blah, blah. Let me bring deals to you. I've done deals with you. We can make money together. I'm sure there's buyers in every single marketplace that would do what Zach Keeps is willing to do.
I mean, you got to provide value. Otherwise, why would they do business? There's a million other buyers.
Look at this house next door, right? Look at the house. It's like, is the ARV really 425? I guess it is if you keep the house, but like, what if you scrape it? What's that house sold for next door?
Yeah.
That thing looks like a brand new build.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just did some pop out. Anyway, we could talk about this all day long.
Yeah.
Luigi's trying to go home. He's trying
Luigi's
to
he's like,
Luigi's trying to go back to
Luigi's got
Puerto
his
Rico.
birthday coming up, by the way, a big one.
Yeah.
The big 3-0. Look at this guy.
Hey,
Party.
are you happy you're not in Puerto Rico now?
Yeah, this is true. And today's my birthday.
Today's
I
your
was gonna
birthday.
say today, happy
I thought
birthday.
today's the. I thought it was the 18th. You
No,
said.
birthday party is the 18th.
Is somebody
happy
gonna
birthday, we
play with
didn't
your
know.
wiener today? It's
Wow,
not your
we gotta
birthday unless
finish
you get
the
your
yard.
ding dong played with, bro.
You gotta finish the yard.
All right, we're gonna save real estate jingo for next time.
Yeah.
But we will have you. So this is a new segment we're gonna do. What I'd love to do. So each one of these blocks has a question, except for the bottom row. So let me see if I can pull one out here. Yeah. What I want you to do, Pace, write a question that you want future guests to answer,
And
big-
then sign it. That's
on the
all
other
right.
side,
Yeah.
Where do I want it?
wherever you want,
Nobody can know.
right on the top or the
Oh, on
bottom,
it's got to be on the bottom,
and then
right?
sign it on the other side.
Okay.
All right, so we got another new segment that we're testing out today, and this is Real Estate Jenga. So, Pace, how this works is every single one of these blocks has a question on it.
Okay.
Okay. And each guest that comes on the show is going to add their own question that they want to hear future podcast guests answer. And over time, we're just going to build this thing bigger and bigger and bigger. So go ahead and grab yourself a block, whichever one you want, and whatever block you have should have a question on it.
Ooh, this one comes out pretty easy. All right.
Let's see. What'd you get?
Oh, who asked this question? This one's too simple. How are you doing for real? I'm in the pinch me is this real phase of my life.
Yeah.
But life is really good. I'm working out every day. My wife is texting me literally right now. Are you coming home? I want to have sex. I went to Nobu the other night. I have a lot of happy employees that text me frequently and say, thank you for, I had somebody ask me, tell me, thanks for having a dream so big that my dream could be inside of yours.
Yeah.
Like, bro, my life is really, really good.
That's amazing.
So yes, for real, I'm getting laid today. And it's not even my birthday. It's Luigi's birthday. And I feel like it's my birthday because somebody's going to play with my wiener today. So
I love it.
What was
Pinch
the question?
me, is this real? Great question.
yeah.
The question is, how are you doing for real?
How are you doing for real?
For real.
Got
and
it.
the answer was, pinch me, is this real?
Got it.
Great
yeah,
answer.
pinch me. I'm in the pinch me, is this real phase of my life.
That's great.
know?
That's a great
It's
phase
great
to
I think
to
be
you've
have
been there a long time.
other people that are in that same phase
No
around
complacency, baby. No complacency, right? Like
Right.
I'm blessed, but like I don't worry about yesterday. I don't look and say, oh, look at my bank account. Did I wake up dead broke every day and go crush straight up? I still have that fucking drive, that itch.
That's why I love being around Zach Keeps. He makes me feel like I'm lazy, which is great.
you. I love that.
You need
don't
friends
think
like
so.
that.
Yeah. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this 11 out of 10 podcast. We're bringing you every week the greatest players in the game, guys who are literally reshaping the entire face of real estate investing in America and pushing our entire industry forwards. So if you got value, make sure to subscribe and drop 11 out of 10 in the comments. And then also remember, we do read every single comment and we respond to them ourselves. So if you see Robert responding or Pace responding or Zach, that is us. Last week, we were talking about first responders.
Amazing at helping the first responders learn about education. They've already reached out. We've already
people are
helped
reaching out.
multiple people, giving them free games. So we appreciate everybody that engages. We appreciate the people that are protecting and supporting our country. And we want to help you guys as well. I'm sure Pace does it day in and day out. We have that opportunity as well. So much love to you guys. Anything we can do to enhance your lives, let us know. And again, thanks for being so vulnerable. Everyone just talks about numbers, but here we go deep below the skin, really getting vulnerable, real answers, real people, amazing people that will hopefully have some impact on your life to enhance it to some level. So thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to hang with you.
Anytime I get to hang out with Keeps and Mr. Harvard grad himself, I'm always here.
Love it.
Awesome. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week.
Let's go.
Amazing.
I
Great shit.
have grown the talent of holding in my piss for so long.
Oh, that's good for you. I just let it go.
Yes.